Well done. Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. It's Chrissy with the Paranormal Misfit podcast. And today I am so excited for the guest that I have on today. You may know him from the Smart Friend in a Horror Movie, or you may know him from the pandemic time period on TikTok as the Karen Hotline. So,
oh my God.
I know. I'm telling you, I loved it. So, this is Nino Daniel. Nino, would you like to go ahead and talk about yourself?
Oh my gosh. Hi. Thank you so much. Oh my God. I can't believe this is happening. This is so cool. Thank you for recalling also like the thing that started my whole like TikTok experience with Karen, and that was fun times to say the least. I did what everyone did, I guess. Like I downloaded TikTok in January of 2020 as like it was like pre-onset pandemic, and like it's fine. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna use this platform just for humor.
Yep.
And then cut to 3 years later, and now a full-blown content career. It's insane. And you've been attached to the account since Karen, so you're like an OG.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Oh.
When you started doing the Smart Friend in a Horror Movie, I was like, thank you. Because that's how I think in smart. Like when I watch horror movies, I'm like, why are you doing that? Why? Why are you running so bold?
Why are you running into the house? Or why are you exploring the noise? Or why? What's so funny with Smart Friend came out with like the same way all of like the virality with my videos did. It was a dumb idea. I was just like, yeah, like Karen, I was driving down the freeway on the way to my parents' house thinking, okay, well, what can I do that's kind of funny? And I have so much experience in customer service, but people complain about the dumbest. Can we cuss on here?
Oh, yeah.
People complain about the dumbest shit.
Yes.
And they're like, I asked for my coffee to be 110 degrees. It's 112. It's like, girl, I can't help you. I can't physically. What do you want me to do? Like, drop an ice cube in there?
And then it's gonna go down.
Well, yeah, and then like the mute stuff that came on, I feel like that was very appropriate because people were just, once we moved everything to like Zoom and Teams and Skype, people were like, can you hear me? Am I coming in like yelling into the microphone?
Yes.
And then Smart Friend just came up because I've always like thought about like, what would I do in a horror movie? And it was original. So the series was originally going to be called Horror Scopes.
Oh, yes, because you touch so much on the Zodiac and I love it.
So it was originally going to be called Horror Scopes because obviously there's a lot of communication about like Zodiacs, and I pick on everyone.
You do.
I call out everyone and their cousin and their mother, and we call their ancestors up on Ouija board. We do all of it. And it kind of stuck. And I loved that it was such an accidental thing. And I had no intention of it blossoming into what it did. I was just like, oh, this is funny. Let's see if it sticks. Because mind you, TikTok had me, I don't want to say like shadow banned, but TikTok,
it had you hidden.
It had me hidden. Do people who used to follow me are like, why am I no longer following you anymore? And I think as a content creator, it's such a limiting thing because I'm like, I'm genuinely putting thought into what I put out there.
Yeah.
For like an audience consumption piece. And then TikTok's like,
not today.
Not today. So I was literally, I think it was like October of 2021. I was 97,000 followers, and then up until Smart Friend came out in March of 2023, I got down to like 91, and I was losing like hundreds of followers a week, not knowing what was going on, not knowing what was happening. I reached out to TikTok for support, and I was like, F it, let's just see what happens. And the first ever Smart Friend came out, and it just kind of catapulted into what it is, and it's literally given me the coolest like experiences with like, oh yeah, I get to revisit these movies and I get to like research Zodiacs, which I'm big into Zodiacs. And now we're here. I mean, like literally, I'm so freaking excited to do this with you. And up until you and I were like DMing and stuff, I didn't know you go that far back with me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because, like, I used to sit on the couch because, you know, during the pandemic, what were we doing? We were sitting at home.
Babe, we were scrolling.
And I was like, babe, you have to watch this. My husband would be sitting on the couch. I was like, you have to watch this. And we were watching the Karensons. And I was like, look at what he's saying. And he's like, man, I've wanted to say that for so long. And we would just scroll and scroll and just watch them. And I'm like, look, you got a new one. And then I do the same thing with the horror one, because I have tons of friends. We're always like, let's watch scary movies. And I will send them your videos. Like, oh my God, we just watched this. Look at what he thinks. Like, look at what he's doing. And I love whenever you're like, what is it? Like Virgoing. Yes.
Like,
and like speaking like from a Scorpio standpoint. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. That's been,
I love those.
I thank you. I love getting like different like zodiacs involved. I love poking fun at Libras. My husband's a Libra. I love poking fun at Scorpios. My sister's a Scorpio. A lot of my friends, like some of my like the core amount of friends that I have, a lot of them are Leos. So I Leos. I rip into Geminis. And if you paid attention, I really, for some reason in the beginning of the series, I was ripping into Pisces. Like, I'm like, what is happening? I have nothing against Pisces. Like, nothing against them. I think they're great people. Some of my friends are Pisces, but like, I caught myself thinking, I'm literally attacking people. Like, and the thing is, I'll research the zodiac and I'll research like the time frame, and I'll be like, okay, so my friend XYZ has a birthday in this time frame. Let me take their characteristics and build it into here. And then I knew like once I started seeing, and I don't mean to get all businessy, but once I started seeing like the numbers, it's seeing like the likes, the comments, the shares, and dare I say like the demand.
Yes.
Like, okay, cool. So technically the first 3 episodes of Smart Friend is like the trope of people trying to escape a house. Yeah. And I was like, how do I make it ridiculous though? And I was pulling out like a flashlight out of like my jacket, but the flashlight is literally the size of my head. And then now the new thing that we're doing is the telephones. One that we've kind of caught on. The very first like Smart Friend episode with an addition of something was Cabin in the Woods.
Yes, I remember that one.
And that was just like, yeah, I was like, let me just try this. Let me see how this fares. And then that was the first time that I filmed on so the first 3 episodes were done on TikTok.
Okay.
And then I was like, no, film it on your phone, but make a longer version.
I love your long versions. I'm not gonna lie. I love
the Patreon. Yeah.
Yes.
Genuinely from someone who's subscribed to my Patreon, what do you actually think? Be real.
Oh no, I love it. I go on there and like I'll watch each and every video, and I love commenting and like highlighting certain parts of your acts and stuff. I loved when you shared the Beyonce concert.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited. Your Kids Bop had me laughing.
Oh, more of that come to me. I was like, I have to like give you something. And I feel like for how much it costs and what you're getting, I feel like those 2 things in my opinion equate, but I would love to know from you, like how does that look for you in terms of the monthly cost and what you're getting?
Oh, great. Because I mean, you're putting out like almost like every day, if not every other day. So there's something new every time.
Every like 48 hours, I give you a drop. Also, wanted to give you this. I know the episode is going to come out after like the time has passed, but Dumb Friend in a Horror Movie.
I'm so excited.
I think it literally comes out in like 2 hours.
Oh my God.
I think right when we wrap up, it should be ready to go.
Oh, I'm gonna be so excited. I'm gonna have my hairdresser like, look at this.
Do it. No, I was thinking too, I was like, okay, it like the whole Smart Friend thing was just something that, even to be able to sit here and tell you about it, for the fact that like you even like graced me with like an invite. I love horror movies so much. I love the paranormal so much. I love ghosts. I love all, I believe in it wholeheartedly. Like, you cannot tell me that there are not other things among us.
Right. Because there's so much energy around.
There's so much. There's no way. And I think what I started doing with Smart Friend was like, okay, I don't want to do movies from just 2000 to 2023. I was like, how many like gems there are from the 70s, and how many gems there are from even the one I did recently, The Glass Ceiling.
Yes.
It's a foreign horror film. And I think a lot of the times what I see with other creators is like they're focused on different aspects of horror, like who the director is, who the writer, what theories they have. And I love that because we need that too. And I was
Yeah.
like, how about can we highlight like some of the other stuff and like going into research it? And I've now seen so many comments, people DM me and they're like, hey, because you posted this, we went and watched it. And like it was a really good movie. So it's a little bit of like a resurgence of movies that may have not been given their flowers.
Yeah.
At the time of them releasing. And I loved the fact that we've like developed a love for like the dropping of the voice and
the squeaks.
just like just a cute wait, I have to like lubricate for that. Hold on. It's like I even do it with my husband sometimes. I'll be looking at him and I was like, of course you'd make that decision, Libra. Like out of nowhere, and then I'll catch myself like my cat. So I have a black cat named Binks.
Oh.
And, yep. Yay. That's the one. Yesterday, so our room is pitch black. Our bedroom is black. And I was walking into the bedroom yesterday, and I love playing this really fun game with him called Is That a Cat or a Pile of Clothes? And his eyes don't show reflection in the room because there's no light in the room to catch his like pupils or cornea, whatever, to reflect. And so I stepped on him yesterday.
Oh no.
And he gave a meow and I gave a squeal. So if I can find the security footage of like in our hallway, like from our camera, and like I'll release it. Like if I find it and it's audible, I'll release it. And just seeing what everything has built up to is an honor for me. It is so grateful. I'm so grateful to be able to like do this and make people laugh. And I think one of the things I wasn't expecting, but I'm glad that I'm able to do is really connect with an audience on such a personal level. And I hope you've also seen like I try to be as responsive as possible to everyone. I really try to like give everyone their couple moments with me, or DM them, or when I go live on Facebook and bring people like take virtual photo, just because I genuinely love everyone who's supporting me because of how like heavy that support is. And I'm such a small creator. Like I mean, considering how many other people have hundreds of thousands, millions of followers.
Right.
This is such a cool, all we're doing is watching horror movies. We're laughing and everyone's saying a Pisces would never do this. A Scorpio would never do this. And I was like, but
would they?
That's the thing. So I got a lot of comments on like expanding the series, and I was like, okay, don't worry, Dumb Friend is coming. And Dumb Friend is going to be so the one that's coming out on Patreon today, and, like the TikTok Reels version, which is like the 60-second version.
Yeah.
So it's just the tropes. We're not zodiacking it just yet. It will become like Dumb Friend in a horror movie, Cabin in the Woods, Sagittarius edition. So for every single person who wants to jump me in an alley because I don't talk about their zodiac enough, everyone's like, why didn't you mention Capricorns? I'm like, did you go back 2 videos?
You're there.
Did you go back 2 videos? I literally ripped you a new one. So now every single person is going to get made fun of on their own individual video.
Oh, that's exciting.
So, also, before we move on, can I please shout out everyone who's following me on Patreon?
Go for it.
Okay, so and I have my phone out here. Shout out to Chrissy Davis.
Thank you.
Big shout out to Sarah, Danielle, Gigi, Corinne, Brittany, and Misty.
Yay!
So thank you to those wonderful. Thank you to you and everyone who has subscribed. This is the coolest thing.
Oh, I love it. I was so excited because, like some people are like, join my Patreon, and I've done it. And I'm like, but your Patreon, you have done so well with it. Like you make sure there's always something there. You're always giving us updates, like all sorts of things. And the thing is
the live tomorrow.
Yes. And the lives. And then on top of that, like we have a chance to just go back through and continuously share your videos, like go and show someone the longer version. Cause that's what I do. Like, you have to watch this. You have to watch it. Yeah. I was just doing it earlier with my friend. I was like, look, I know what you did last summer. Do you remember Valentine?
Oh, when I tell you Valentine was the movie that like I was so afraid to do.
Yeah.
friend because that was the one that got me into horror.
Oh.
So then I went back and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I went back and I found out that Scream is my favorite franchise.
Scream is good.
And I think for me, it's my favorite because that can really happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like the thing with like Freddy, okay, sure. The thing with Michael, okay, sure. Jason, okay, sure. Jason can also happen, but I think with Scream, someone literally can sneak into your house, call you, and be like, "What's your favorite scary movie?" By the fucking way, I'm gonna gut you.
Right? I don't want to play a game, thank you.
I actually, you know what's so funny? I was actually house sitting, and this is on the market, and I'm a squatter, and I'm evicting myself. So bye. Like, mm-mm, mm-mm. Actually, I'm not gonna go into my car because I'm smart. I'm gonna walk.
Honestly, when you did the Smart Friend version, it was like, I wish that's what I kind of wish they would have done with like the scary movies when they made the parodies.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of going down the trope of like, oh my God, look, I broke my leg. Oh my God. It's like, no, I want to see smart people. I want to see smart people.
It's very like when the scary movie parodies came out, I thought like how they played like a more like they leaned into it versus leaning away from it. I think leaning away from it would have been the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
But none of that was present.
No, not at all.
And
it's always
it's always the oh my God, what are you gonna do, Mr. Killer? Got me? Am I gonna be in the sequel?
Like why?
Or if you hear like literally after watching The Nun, and I posted this on my The Nun 2, sorry, after watching The Nun 2, I posted this on my Instagram story. It's like the moral of that movie is if you hear a noise, no you didn't.
Exactly. Like why is that an issue for people?
Why is it everyone's like, oh God, we should go investigate that? No, fuck, we actually shouldn't. Hey, so fun. What if?
What if we go the other way?
Oh my gosh. Hey, if we go to where the light is, if we go to like, I don't know. My version of going to the light is like where the populace is, and we can like blend in with the crowd.
Yes.
That other person who wants to explore the sound, their version of the light is going to Jesus.
Yes.
And I definitely want to meet God definitely when my time is there, but not too quick.
not based off of a dumb decision, thank you.
Not based off of I wonder if that's someone we know who's making noise like in the basement as we're on the second floor. No one that you know has followed you and decided, hey, maybe they went into the basement. I.e. not malignant, barbarian.
Yes. Or the other one that usually throws me off is all of the ones that are in the woods. Why are we constantly in isolated areas in the woods?
Why are we? Here's the gag. Is like, I will say, the Smart Friend movie that I've seen recently that actually fares really well. Have you seen? Oh my gosh! What is that? The Blackening.
That sounds familiar. Ford. Yeah.
No. It was a 15-minute SNL skit that they turned into a full-length feature film, and it's a group of Black people celebrating Juneteenth, and the majority of those people escape.
I wonder why.
Because
they turned around.
In an isolated Airbnb in the woods, multiple killers, all of that stuff. Oh. And of course, it's like going back to the tagline of Scream 6 or Scream 5. It's always someone you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like my thing is if my friends are like, hey, we should go like camping in the woods. And I was like, if by the woods, you mean the Courtyard Marriott that sits on a lake?
Yes.
Where there's a free continental breakfast, security on site, Wi-Fi for days, and multiple electrical outlets, I'm so for it. Or if we do go camping in the woods, the only thing that I would ask is whatever house we stay on, it can't be like, oh, the lake is a mile away. No, I have to be on the lake because that's another escape route.
Mm-hmm. Don't put me on the side of a hill.
No,
oh my God. A mountain.
When I did When a Stranger Calls, that's one of the things I tapped on too. I was like in the long version of When a Stranger Calls. That's a vault one that's coming soon. It's like You chose to babysit, and this is the Camilla Bell version. I was like, you chose to babysit these kids, and these people live an hour and 30 minutes away. So when they left for their dinner, they had to travel at least an hour. When the mom and dad left for their dinner, they had to travel at least an hour. And you just gonna be fine up here in the forest? And then you're telling me that the guest house is a quarter mile away? You have me so fucked up. I'm literally like, I'm sorry. The last I checked, my name was Nino, not Licorice. You got me twisted. You got me so twisted.
Oh my gosh.
Anywho, so it's just that's what I mean. It's like I love what I'm doing with the series because I look at that and I'm like, that is the dumbest.
Yes.
Have you had that ever where you've been with like a group of friends and they hear something like and someone was like, oh, let's go explore it? Like, has that ever happened to you?
No. So I did. I wait. I live in a city. I live in Jacksonville, Florida, and like I was friends with a lot of people, and like the ones who would do dumb shit, I'm like, we can't be friends anymore. I don't like cops. I don't like handcuffs like that. I definitely don't want to go exploring abandoned areas. We're okay. We're fine.
We're actually so okay.
Yeah, I could see it from a distance. Show me the pictures.
You know what? Google Mapsing it sounds so convenient.
Right? And then my husband, oddly enough, he's from Tennessee on the Appalachian side. And I always joke with him. I always mess with him.
I was just about to bring up the Appalachia. Ooh.
I joke with him all. I was like, that's your Appalachian blood. He's like, shut up. He's like, if I heard it, I didn't see it. I'm not gonna go look for it. Like,
is that a real thing? Speaking of like obviously paranormal stuff, like explain to me his stories or you're not, because Appalachias is something that I'm curious about. You wouldn't catch me dead in there though.
No, I don't understand why people go hiking it from Georgia all the way up. Hiking? Yes, that is a big trail. It goes from Georgia all the way to like, I don't know, Massachusetts, Maine area.
Girl,
and like, oh no.
No.
So, The Wrong Turn. You remember that movie?
I think I did that one.
I think so too. And I don't remember
it was the guy with like the interview or something like that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that was a good one.
So the thing about the Appalachians is they haven't been fully investigated, so they don't know what's going on there. And you've gotten a mixture, right? So you had a bunch of immigrants who came over. You got the Italians, you got the Irish, you got the natives. So like all of this combined together, they put all their folklore together. And like, that's what you got. You got all this wild stuff. Like,
that's so great. Send a postcard.
Right? I'm like, we were doing a zombie run, one of those fun runs in Georgia, and I didn't know where the town was. And we were driving, and I was like, babe. He's like, yeah. And I was like, this looks like some straight up horror movie shit. You better turn around.
Wait. What do you mean? Like, what did it look
like? We got on a road, and then all of a sudden there was no one else on the road, and we just kept going. And I'm like, oh. No. And then we're going near hills, and then we stopped in a town and we went to go pick up some food, and everyone's just staring at us. And I was like, I cannot do this.
That's probably the Jeffrey Dahmer human meat. That's see the way, and I'm so sorry, there's like I live close to an airport and a train station in like rural Mesa, Arizona. So that's great. I would definitely, like, if I'm noticing a trend where I'm the only car on the road.
Yes.
And this goes back to the Hills Have Eyes, like the 70s or 80s version that I just did. If you're noticing that you are, it's one thing to be the only person for a couple of miles. If you're the only car on the road for more than about 10 minutes, I start freaking out. I get even more freaked out when I randomly see another car appear. So I'm like,
out of nowhere.
Out of literal, I was like, that's when I looked in my rearview mirror. You weren't there. The pop was the weasel.
You're also sitting there, and you're like, well, where could you have possibly turned from? Because I've passed this whole road, and there's not a turn. No one can turn onto the road. How did you get here?
that's like, my husband and I love taking road trips. So, but
Mhm.
I'm super cognizant about like who's behind me and for how long. Like the smart friend stuff for me isn't just like a comedy thing. I genuinely am so alert in situations. And I've learned also like comedy is a great deflection for fear for me.
Mhm.
So every time I go into like a haunted house, like, you know, those like haunted houses that you pay for,
Yes.
not like the genuine abandoned ones that
No.
I want to go into a controlled haunted environment where I've paid 27.50 plus tax for a GA VIP like entrance.
Yes.
And in those, I think like, okay, nothing's gonna happen to you right in the beginning.
Mhm.
Okay, we're in an open area, which means someone could pop, like I start telling myself, expect this, expect this. Or like if someone does surprise me, I said this to this one little girl. She came, I was going into like there's this guy in Scottsdale and he turns his entire backyard into a haunted house. And he
Oh.
gets paid money. Like the city like blocks off his road. He has a permit. This man is a genius. And then once Halloween is done, he takes everything down and builds something for Christmas. Like this man is a genius.
Oh my God.
And I was going through, and it's like a family thing. Like his wife's sons, nieces, nephews are involved. And I was walking through one area, and this girl came out of what didn't even look like was a table, and she popped up in front of me. Like my husband had
No.
my husband had gotten maybe like 3 feet in front of me, and what I do is like I have long arms. I don't. You obviously can't. I have like literally 2.5, 3 foot long arms. I'm built like an octopus. I have like no muscles. I'm built like a scraggly little. I literally look like a Slender Man with a belly. So I have like my arms in front of me to like hold onto his shoulder. This
Mhm.
comes up, like finds the perfect spot. She scares the shit out of me. And rather than like screaming, rather than be like, oh my God, ah, I was like, oh my God, you're fucking adopted. Your mom never loved you. Like,
Just go for the insults.
if you're going to literally drain my urinary tract, like, and not like
Yeah.
pedophilically, but like
No, yeah.
if you're going to piss me scared, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
make fun. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna level the playing field. You were not loved, and you were given the off-brand version of Lunchables. That's what you were given. That's what you were given. You died.
I am one of two people in a haunted house that are
Wait,
done
no.
up like that. Oh my God.
How do
One,
you show up into a haunted house?
so it depends.
She says I don't.
It depends, right? So St. Augustine used to have this really good one. I haven't done we have like something called the 13th floor here.
We do too.
And I haven't done that one.
Is yours actually 13 floors,
No.
or is yours like a
A
where?
flat level. It's a warehouse.
Okay, ours too. Ours is
Yeah.
a recycled grocery store.
I think ours is part of a mall that's not doing very well.
Oh, that's like their version of a spirit Halloween. Just to it. Like, I mean, the government shutdown is supposed to happen tomorrow, October 1st. So might as well just stamp a spirit Halloween sticker over the White House.
Right? Exactly.
Wait, okay, so what happened in your experience?
So the first one, there was 3 of them put
Okay.
together. So first one was Vertigo.
Great.
Right? First
Oh,
one was Vertigo. And it was like the black and white spinning stuff all around. Like, it's supposed to throw off your equilibrium. I was like, okay, whatever. That one was okay. Then we get to one where there's clowns. And if there's 2 things I cannot do is clowns and porcelain dolls.
Oh no.
And we walk into a room. I'm clutching my husband from the back. And we're walking in. I was like, babe, there's a little person in the middle of the floor. It's either a statue or it's an actual person. But I tell you right now, if they come towards me, I'm punting them across the room.
So your feet work. Good to know.
My feet work great. I was not a soccer player, but I will be to get my ass out.
One thing about my sis, she will punt.
I won't run. I'll punt first and then I'll run. I just want to make sure I got a good distance.
I'll do the scream, punt, and run. That's my favorite. Like, that's PR. Like
And then they came out from the corner. I think they heard me, but so they wouldn't come near me because I said it loud enough. I say stuff loud enough so that the scare actors know you F around, you will find the fuck out. Because...
Oh, yeah. Oh, I found out, and I want to get to the third one, but I want to mention, I don't know if they do this in Jacksonville, but I found out here in Arizona, the big haunted houses, the ones that are like $40 and up for a ticket,
right.
All of those actors are mic'd.
Oh.
And so they could be like, there's a guy who has a man bun with like a beige shirt coming through. He's really scared. Like,
that's so dirty.
And I was like, oh, okay. So that's why I go into situations where I'll probably start doing that, actually. I'll start adapting that. Like, if you come out at me, I signed a waiver, but so did you.
Exactly. You have dangers in your contract of doing this. Like Hell House. Have you watched Hell House LLC?
Where's it at?
So I found it on Shudder, but I think it's streaming. Is it also streaming on Prime? I don't know. If you have Shudder, Shudder is nothing but horror movies.
How much is Shudder?
$4.99, I think.
Easy peasy.
Right? Because I bought it and I was like, oh my God, there's so much here.
Oh, easy. It's called Hell House LLC. What's it about?
So it's found footage based. And what it is that you had these group of friends who were doing like the pop-up, right? The pop-up haunted houses around the country. And they go to one, and I don't remember what state it was in or whatever, but they get this like haunted location and they start to set it up and everything. But come to find out the place was really haunted. They got possessed and like turned it into a haunted house attraction, and a whole bunch of murders happen on opening night. So the found footage is kind of like how they do most of them, where they're like, oh, well, we're going to find out what happened. Someone else dumb enough is like, well, let's find out.
Okay, so Blair Witch modern day. Got it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I think, so you know how you told me clowns and porcelain dolls? I agree with you with clowns. Clowns. But there's something so eerie about found footage that I'm like, the viscerality of this could actually
happen.
Like, or what was it? What was the one with Mila Jovovich and the alien attack in Alaska?
Oh,
that movie. Oh my gosh, not the Fifth Element. Abducted or something. Hold on, I have to but I think at the end of that movie, they actually showed you the real footage, like in the credits. They spliced in the actual story that it was.
My God.
Based on Alien Alaska movie, The Fourth Kind.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The Fourth Kind. That scares me. My husband wanted to. He's like, oh, you should do a Smart Friend on The Strangers, the 2008 one. Here's the gag, though. I drove a blue Volvo at the time. In the movie, that family had a blue Volvo.
Right.
No.
See, those type of movies absolutely freak me out, and I think those are the scariest. Between those and like exorcism, certain exorcism movies.
Are you excited for Exorcist Believer?
Yes. Have you watched Pope's Exorcist? It's on Netflix. It's got
I heard it didn't do good.
I liked it.
Okay, so if it's on, okay, I'll take it.
So the guy, it's actually a true story. Right? Because it's the actual Pope's exorcist. It's his lead exorcist. And he has books that he wrote. Yeah, I know. They're going to make a second one. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yay. Another movie. Yes. Like religion and possession and
those, I don't know why I love, like when we're thinking of subgenres for horror, found footage.
Immediately.
Absolutely. I wasn't really the aliens in Signs were absolutely scary, but the movie itself was so slow moving for me that
it took them like what, an hour and a half?
Yes.
Like, I'm Camelon, what are you doing, babe?
But like that alien movies for sure, because that just aliens, come on now. And then possessions. Religious trauma movies always get me because
it's a real thing.
it
Like,
is.
have you seen footage of like there's some stuff that was on like not Twitter, YouTube, where it was like the Vatican at dark or something like that. And it's like people just talk about what happens in like the Vatican City as the sun is setting.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
And there was one episode where this guy, like, he was just randomly filming. He's a citizen there, and he's, first of all, what? If anyone ever was like, hey, you want to move and live to the Vatican? No.
Nope.
Actually,
I would stay far away.
I'm actually busy that day. So funny. I'm going to Jupiter that day. That's so crazy.
I've decided I'm moving not there.
I've actually decided I'm dead. That's so weird. That's crazy. I just unalived myself. So this is Particles of Dust. I saw this thing. He was filming an old lady, and she was staring out into this like body of water, but she kept mumbling something. He comes up to her, and she turns to his camera. She's blind. She smiles, and her teeth are like falling apart, and then she says the guy's name.
No. Nope.
And I don't know if that was like a teaser trailer or something, but I'm like, this looked way too authentic to be a promo for something. Unlike the way they, hold on, random, who's calling me? Okay, sorry. Unlike the way they did like the It Part 2 promotions where they like paid people to be clowns.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
But anyways,
thanks.
Sorry, you want to talk about paranormal?
Absolutely.
You want to, when you had told me that you wanted to talk about paranormal stuff, I was like, I have genuine experiences.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Like, whatever, I don't care whatever part of the first part you choose to cut out, but this is where I'm like, I've never shared this on a public platform before. I've never talked about these experiences.
Yeah.
So what would you like to know?
All of it. Whatever you want to put out there.
Can I start in reverse order? So I start with recent events and then go down to my childhood?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Stop me at any point.
Okay.
So there was a movie that I was the lead choreographer for. It was a musical. We had a lot of fun. We filmed at Phoenix Center for the Arts. This specific event happened on 2 occasions in 2 different locations. We rehearsed in like the theater where the movie be filmed. Okay, cool. I am teaching a couple of my dancers choreography, and I'm looking straight. So I'm looking to the back of the stage. The audience chairs are behind me. And in my right peripheral, I see movement, but like stage left has the door to where our green room goes. Backstage has the main door where people enter, but that door was locked. So you could not get in or out.
Right.
Unless you were in the green room yourself. So I'm looking at my dancer, and then in my peripheral, I see movement. And there's a curtain that covers the door to the green room, but that curtain's like 4 pounds, 5 pounds. Like you need to like put some elbow grease into it. All of my dancers are on stage. We're the only ones in the theater at that time. We're the only ones in that part of the theater because the lobby is like maybe 300 feet away, down like 2 separate hallways and an elevator. So there's no way. I see someone actually watching us, and then they dart into the green room.
Oh God.
And I was like, hey, is anyone else from production here? And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, you didn't see that guy? And everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck? So I go into the green room, and this is when Smart Friend was still out, but also the thing that I have is like a sense of safety for my friends and people that I'm working with. I was like, rather than like, how about you guys leave? I need to actually go see if someone's in here, because, we're under contract. People can't be here. That can't be here. We can't like release footage of this. No one was in the green room.
Oh, no.
Not at all. No
No.
one went into any of the closets, any of the bathrooms, nothing.
Oh.
And I was like, no one saw that? Like, I literally looked at them and they're like, I didn't see anything. Okay, cool. 2 days later, now I'm like teaching them choreography, but I'm looking out into the audience and I look up top where beyond the mezzanine where the control is, and there's a literal man standing there.
No.
And I was like, I literally like I kept staring at him. And I was like, I called one of my friends. I was like, look, tell me you see it. And she goes, do you see what? And I did the thing where I turned away and I was like, I need you to look up here. Right when I looked back.
No.
So when we went into production, the theater manager was sitting with us and I talked to him and I was like, hey, is this place haunted? And he goes,
all theaters are.
No, but he said, he goes, yes. Who did you see? And I was like, what the fuck do you mean who? As if there's more than one person. What? Are you an owl? What do you mean who? What do you mean who?
Right.
So I described the gentleman that I saw. I was like, yeah, he had like kind of like semi-long hair, but he was lean.
Right.
That's like George or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, so people have reported this.
The thing, why is it always a George? I feel like it's always a George.
I don't know. For this one, it was like, I think he said George. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, this wasn't very smart, friend of me, is Phoenix Center for the Arts has an abandoned theater attached right next to it. Like the main theater and the abandoned theater, I'm not even kidding you, share a brick wall.
No.
So I looked at the theater manager and I was like, hey, any chance that I could go explore that? And he goes, only if it's just you. And I was like, perfect. Yep, just me. When I tell you, this was like a place that was built in the 50s or something like that, 50s or 60s. It was like grand. It was such a big theater and they were going to do big things with it. It could hold like, I think like 2,500 people or something like that. Like it was a big space. You could taste like the paranormal, like, I don't know, like ethereal energy.
That sounds so exciting.
Oh, it was so exciting. And my dumbass, upon like entry, I was like, oh, this is so cool. He goes, oh, this is just the basement level where we keep all the costumes. He takes me like upstairs. And when I tell you, it was just like an echoey brick room, dusty, quintessential place where someone is going to pop out and kill you. Before he and I went in there, I grabbed my flashlight and my knife.
Gotta be handy, man.
If I'm gonna be dumb, I'm gonna be smart dumb.
That's right. At least be prepared.
I'm gonna be armed and dangerous. Also, I don't know if like this is maybe a positive thing, but like, and you probably can't tell on camera, I'm 6'1". So, and I'm kind of like built hefty. So typically if I'm in like a dark area, not a lot of things are going to approach me if they're physical human beings because I'm already like, not scary, but I'm not easy to take down.
Yeah.
So we explore this entire thing and then I decide, oh my gosh, where's that light coming from?
Oh no. You followed a light?
I followed a light and it was to the roof. So the roof thing was open completely.
Oh wow.
And he goes, yeah, sometimes he goes like, oh yeah, we were in here like a month and a half ago. We had to kick a family out. It's like, what?
Like squatters?
Like squatters are sometimes known to be in there. And I kind of was like, well, I think that's how they got here. But what I don't understand is the roof is technically on the 5th floor. So I'm like, you have to scale 5 stories. So that was the most recent one.
Okay.
I also, I don't know how much believability we're gonna have with this, but just go with me.
Go for it.
I'm very, very big on trying to communicate with the dead.
Okay.
You're like, great. How do you have a series called Smart Friend, but you're dumb as shit? So one of the things that I got for my 30th birthday was a Ouija board.
Oh God.
And I was like, whatever, we'll just have it, in case we want to get creepy creeps one night.
Right.
Back in like my early 20s, no joke, I would get together with my friend. She had a Ouija board.
Mm-hmm.
And we would sit. She lives on top of a mountain in Scottsdale. Like the view was great, all of that. Right. Chrissy, I'm setting myself up for failure.
We just talked about why we don't go up to the mountaintop.
Also, this was before I got smart, though. This was before I got intelligent. Like, remember, men don't develop intelligentically quick as women. So, I was like, I don't know. Too many chicken nuggets will do that to you. I don't know.
Plenty of experimental things to do in your 20s.
I mean, some people experiment with, like, I don't know, sexuality and gender. I'm over here like, let's contact the dead. So I would say, if she ever gets a chance to watch this, hi Michelle, I miss you. We would sit, and for some reason, when she did it with anyone in her family, they would get rough connections. When I sat down and did it with her, we were hardcore communicating.
Oh.
I would be like, hey, ask it. Like, we would be like, is this Michelle's grandmother? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be like, okay, Michelle, ask it a question only your grandmother would know. And she would get specific. She's like, what was the name of the stuffed bunny you gave me when I was 3?
Oh, wow.
The thing spelt it out.
Oh,
Like, to the T.
no.
So then I was like, hey, I know this about me. I know that I have some form of connection to the other side because her mother, all of that gypsy stuff has been passed down. So I was like, can you go get me something that's personal to you? Like a ring, a necklace, a hairbrush, something that has like connection to someone.
Right.
And I like hold her hand in one hand and the object in the other, closed fist. And I just like take a deep breath and I close my eyes and I'm like, okay, this type of person is coming through. And I would describe someone and she'd be like, I would look at her and be like, do you know who this person is? And I described her grandmother. I'd never seen her grandmother. She showed me a picture of her.
Mm-hmm.
Not only described her grandmother, I described that exact outfit.
Oh, wow. Nice. That's exciting.
Oh, so that was like, thank God it started to kind of trail off in my 20s, because what happened in my teens, my younger years.
Oh.
So one time that I think I was like still early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened in the house that my parents live in. And I can't explain it. Not like I can't explain it, but like because I know something happened. In the middle of the night, maybe this was like 4 or 5 in the morning, summertime. So the sun's kind of like creeping in. You get that thing. I slept on my left side, but like I'm facing out into my room, which is a big no-no. If you're ever falling asleep, never face out into your room ever. Probably why I haven't seen a lot of spirits in this house recently, since we have a black cat who protects us.
There you go.
But I open my eyes, and Chrissy, I shit you not, I'm watching a little girl. She kind of is sitting like with her knees to her chest, and she's hugging her legs and she's rocking back and forth.
Oh no.
And then she lifts up her head, and like I see the most sinister smile I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
I don't know how to explain this to people. I literally am like, I don't know how to make you believe that I can do this.
Right.
And then come to find out, so this goes back to my friend Jasmine. I did the same. This is kind of same thing where I like put, a personal object in my hand and start all of this stuff. I started talking to her dead uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Or what is her sister, her mom's sister's husband is her uncle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I started talking to her uncle, and he had passed away, or something to that effect. And I said, hey, I'm getting this weird name coming in. He's like feeding me the letters Carl. Is his name Carl? And he goes, well, his name was Carlos.
Oh.
And I was like, why does he look so mean? Why does he look so aggressive? He's like, oh, because he used to like, he was physically violent to the family.
Oh my God.
And I think with her it was super easy because um her grandmother, her mom's mom had passed away. And I went to their house one night just to kind of like, here, I'll try reading, you know,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And I'm looking at her mother, like straight across, like the same way I'm looking at you now. And I asked her mother, I was like, I'm gonna ask you a question. You just answer yes or no. She goes, okay. Do you feel pressure on any of your shoulders? Answer yes or no. She goes, yes, I do. And I said, okay, at the same time, we're going to say what shoulder you feel pressure on. Remember, there's a 50-50 chance, right?
Right.
And I was like, 1, 2, 3, left. And it was
No.
like, your mom is literally holding your left shoulder down.
Oh my God.
I can physically see her. And then when I was younger, I kept seeing figures and shadows. The two big things that happened to me when I was younger, and I've not ever said this in like a
Mm-hmm.
public place. Um, the first one was probably the first. Well, they're both creepy in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
One has to do directly with me. One has to do with an experience I had in the same house that I saw a figure in. Which one do you want to know first?
Whichever one you want to go with first. Both
Okay.
sound great. So.
So I was sitting I was in my grandmother's apartment. I was taking a bath, and
Mm-hmm.
when I was younger, I had this like affinity towards sitting across like the knob where the water comes down, but like very tightly up against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I was like, I kind of wanted to see how like the waves were. I was a creepy kid. I was so weird. I don't know. I thank God for therapy and like childhood development and like teenage development and all that. Like, I don't know how my friends are my friends. Like, shout out to my best friend Priscilla, who's been with me since I was like 10. Like, I was a creepy, weird kid, but I think it's also because I didn't know how to harness all of the other things that I saw.
Well, to be fair though, like tubs are like a swimming pool for kids.
Yeah,
Like at
literally.
bath time. So.
Yeah. So I sat down and we still had like there was still water and I love how we as if like someone else was in there with me. I bathed myself. I just want to let everyone know I was older than 8. And I extend my feet out and I lay in the tub and I look at the knob
Oh no.
and I said, I'd like some more water. And I like tilt my head forward. No joke. The knob turns on, the water goes in, and then it turns back off. I didn't touch anything.
Oh my God.
I touched nothing. And
Like
the reason,
do you think it was telepathically or do you think like
sure, that's
spirit?
happened. Like sometimes that'll happen before in my life where like I'll see something like a minute or two before it happens
Mm-hmm.
and I'll call it like too perfectly. It's too perfect. It's too specific to be coincidental.
Right.
And the big one for me, the big one that I was like, something is wrong. I have some form of connection to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh,
Uh-oh.
this one, this one scared the absolute shit out of me. Absolute shit out of me. So I lived in a townhome when we first moved to America from Bosnia. We lived in an apartment complex because we had to, and then my parents got like a little bit of money, worked hard,
Mm-hmm.
love my sister, love my family, love my husband, love the life I have now. I just want to specify I'm so grateful for all of what I have now. When I was younger, this was I think just slightly after my sister was born, so maybe this was like 1999, like early 2000s.
Okay.
Um, I'm sleeping in my room, and at this time, I had to sleep with a nightlight. So my version of the nightlight was keeping the bedroom door open
Mm-hmm.
and then letting the hall light flood in.
Okay, yeah.
The thing is, though, is the hall light hit in my computer screen. So anytime like, so I could see someone coming,
Mm-hmm.
like just so I'm aware, like, oh, my mom is bringing me food, or oh, my dad's like, whatever.
Yeah.
That was when I saw the first shadowy figure. This isn't the story that I'm getting to, but this is where I saw the figure of a man in a hat. And I looked there, I looked in the computer screen, and right as I looked, because mind you, my head, the top of my head was towards the opening of the door, which is also a big no-no. A big no-no when you're sleeping. Your body should be, someone said, like, never put a chair at the base of your bed.
No mirrors facing your bed.
No mirrors facing your bed. Your head should not be near the opening of a window or where a window is. So it's like you should sleep with your head towards a wall and your feet outward. Right? Something like that. So I didn't. Oopsies. Oopsie doodles. And there was one time I remember I was having a very vivid dream. And to this, mind you, this dream is like 20 years old. I still remember details to it. I was in one of our old complexes and I was like getting chased and there was like this big commotion going on in the dream. And I remember for some reason I started like floating to the building where we lived. Like we lived on the second floor and started floating to the building. And I felt like the magic or whatever it was dropping. So I would grab onto this rail, right?
Right.
This happened where I grab I like aim for the rail and I miss it. I wake up and I shit you not, I am floating 3 feet above my bed.
Oh my God.
So when I hit the bed, like I think I don't know what happened, but I was awake and I'm looking up and I was like, that's my ceiling.
Kind of like lucid dreaming.
Kind of like lucid dreaming. And I was like, I was like, wait a minute, is that my ceiling? And right as I go to touch it, I fall into my bed. So much so where my dad was like, hey, are you okay? What's all this commotion?
Oh my God. Wow. So have you like tried honing in on any of your like abilities? I feel like you should be.
I feel like I should be. I feel like I'm more just like I want to say this in a very respectful way. I think spirits might come to me because I just like to listen. I like to just like, okay, what's your story? I'm never there to be like, where's the treasure that old Smitty hit? You know, I'm not trying to like the Goonies anything. I'm really not. But I've really tried to hone in on what it could be.
Yeah.
I've really wanted to. I don't understand tarot cards enough to do it, and I think like saying, "Oh, you're like this because you're a Pisces" is too broad. But I make fun of them in my series.
To be fair, right now it's Cancer because I've seen you tear into Cancers lately.
I rip into Cancers now. Oh, I think one of my funniest jokes was when I said, "Yes, you can, sir." Like, I think that was Poltergeist. Yes. I think that was Poltergeist, where I was like, oh, that was funny.
And was it Poltergeist also? Was it Poltergeist?
Oh, yeah. Zempic Ronald McDonald?
Yes.
That was a joke. That was good.
I loved it.
That was so good. And I got like, I want to jump ahead. So on that topic, I want to jump ahead to 13 Ghosts, which was...
I love 13 Ghosts.
Okay. So apparently one of my most controversial videos, because people were commenting like, Harry Potter didn't come out when 13... It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's not... you're not doing
Enjoy
it for
the
accuracy.
Joke,
right.
Like, let me live my actual life.
Yeah.
Like, not everything has to be timelined. If I wanted to talk about 13 Ghosts and throw in a Tesla joke, because again, electrical currents, all of this stuff, a Tesla joke would have fit perfectly. Let me do it. Let me live my life. Honestly, block me. Like, sometimes, like, and Ghost Ship was one of my Ghost Ship and 13 Ghosts were like almost back to back. I feel those are some of my like. Those are fun. I've had a lot of requests to do Talk to Me.
Have you watched it yet?
I didn't like it.
I haven't watched it yet. You didn't like it? It looks, I hate to say it this way, it looks kind of too over the top and like coming off cheesy.
If you've seen the trailer, you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
You can guess what happens. It's so it's so predictable.
Oh, that's no fun.
And that's like I want to get to this question in a second, right after that. But like, I will say the reason I might do Talk to Me. I might do a smart friend of Talk to Me. But also, the entire movie is going to be like, why are you going to a party where people have a demonic hand? And why are you trying to interact with it? And why is everyone recording you? And why are there people with like heightened emotions where spirits drawn to that? Like the first 5 minutes of the movie, I'd be like, y'all are dumb.
I'm going home now.
Like, honestly, I'd look at that party, be like, I'm just going to DoorDash the rest of the night. Like, you guys have so much fun. I want to ask you this on the topic of horror movies. Whether it's your favorite or your like top 3, what is your favorite horror movie and why?
So I have a few, and some of them aren't necessarily horror, but they kind of borderline it. So I love Heath Ledger. Yes, and it was like a little bit after A Knight's Tale, he actually did a kind of like a horror film. And he had some of the cast from A Knight's Tale in it with him, but it's called The Order, and it was about sin eaters. And it was
I remember this.
So good.
Oh, this is old.
It was like let's see, A Knight's Tale was like what, early 2000s. So yeah, early 2000s.
Oh my god, yeah.
And it's like dark and dreary the entire time, and like his character ends up becoming the next sin eater.
So great, awesome.
But he had the girl that was the princess or whatever from A Knight's Tale, his two buddies, not Chaucer, but the other two buddies.
The other two,
they were
he
in
said,
it
y'all
too.
want another job? Like,
y'all, we sticking together.
Well, it's kind of like Nev Campbell and Skeet Ulrich.
Oh my god.
They've been in everything together. Like,
exactly. Now for slasher films, Scream is mine all the way. Love Scream.
Best friend.
Love it. And Matthew Lillard's in it, and I love Matthew Lillard.
Tell me you've seen the trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes, I'm so excited. I was like, yes, he's back.
I have to ask you this on the topic of Scream. Do you think Ned is going to be in Scream 7?
It's a toss-up. If they meet her demand for money, because that's what she really should be paid, because she was the face of it. She was the
franchise.
Yeah. I mean, granted, Jenna Ortega is great, but
Melissa Barrera is great.
Right, but they wouldn't be there if Nev didn't do so good the first time. You have to have, it had to have a good solidified story, great act. I mean, it was 2000s acting, but great acting for it. And it's something that no one ever thinks of. So yeah.
We'll see.
A Skeleton Key. I love Skeleton Key.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that movie stepped with its 6-inch stiletto into my trachea. I lost my breath.
It was because the ending, there's no happy ending. And honestly, I really like when horror movies do that, because it's more believable. And not to mention, you're talking about Louisiana, New Orleans area.
You're talking about you're talking about 1800s plantation home, Louisiana, slave trade era.
Yes.
And you think all of the, and for movie purposes, I want to say this, all of the slaves they brought in from Africa, you don't think that there's going to be some witchy something or other attack?
Oh my God.
Come on.
That one, I love the twist to it, because it's you didn't know that the old couple was literally embodying other people they did it to before. The lawyer. The lawyer was one of them, and I'm like, oh my God. Fantastic movie. Doesn't get enough credit.
Doesn't
totally
get
fantastic.
You couldn't guess the ending.
No.
I loved how they did it.
Yes. The filming of it, the moodiness that they brought into that whole film. It wasn't dark and dank. It was but it was dark looking, but it wasn't it wasn't like the found footage stuff.
No. And now every time I see crushed red brick, I think of the movie. I loved the part in the movie where they're the spell you cast doesn't stop anyone from getting in.
Yep.
It stops you from getting out. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
You're like, no, absolutely not.
You got to be like, uses all her strength to push the mirror. And I'm like, you're kidding me. Then she tried to play it along. She's like, yeah, could you check on this leak right here in the back corner? Could you do that for me?
And like her friend warned her the entire time.
Yeah, her friend was like, hey, bitch, don't be stupid. That's going to be you know what? What am I on right now? What did I just finish? Did I just finish the 80s?
I know the one movie was from the 70s.
What did I just finish? Was it the 80s or no, was it the 70s?
Yeah, it was you had just mentioned it earlier.
I just talked about it. It was 1971. Skeleton Key was what, 2000?
Early 2000s. I'd probably say like,
honestly, Skeleton Key will be my next one.
Yeah. The 80s, if you want to do, and I first off, the 80s to me had terrible slasher films. I'm not gonna lie.
Those like synthetic bodies that like, I mean.
And they loved the slasher films of like angry camp counselors or angry camp, yardmen or something coming back to get revenge.
Everyone was like, oh, you fired your neighbor's yard worker and now his son has like a penchant to like destroy your life 25 years later in the life of your family. It's like, grow up.
So I watched one and it was, I will not lie, it was a little gem because of who was in it.
Oh.
It was Jason Alexander as a teenager.
What movie?
The Slasher.
It's literally called.
Or no, The Burning. My bad.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yet. I found it on accident. I was sitting there. I had just downloaded Shudder. I watched one movie and like I love Jenna Malone, but the movie she did called Consecrated.
Jenna Malone in Antebellum. Oh my God, it was good.
That was good. This one that she did, she couldn't. I don't know which accent she was trying to go with because it switched up. It's in Scotland. She's either supposed to be Irish or English, and she came off with a Scottish accent, and I was like, well, that's not matching. And then like the story, it was so bad because she was trying to find out why her priest brother committed suicide, essentially. And it was at some coven, not a coven. What are they called? The nunneries, what are you trying to the places that the nuns kind of usually take over.
Convent?
Is it a convent?
I mean, covenant is like sisterhood, but it's more for like witches.
Yeah. No, there's
convent is like for nuns, right?
I think so.
Let me look this up for you.
Keep going. I'm looking it up. It's one of those, and like the story could have been so good, but the ending was absolute garbage. I got so mad at it. I was like, why did we end this way? Like she was adopted. Her and her brother were really close. The dad was really like
monastery, an abbey, or a convent.
It was an abbey.
Okay.
It was an abbey. And the nuns are trying to keep secrets. Their dad who killed their mom was like, oh, you're the devil, blah, blah, blah. Like everything it was just so terrible. Like the whole line got so convoluted and like it was just bad. It was bad. Her act, like she's a great actress. I was like,
she's a top tier actress. And I love when I saw that she was in Antebellum, I was like, thank you, baby Jesus, bringing back one of our scream queens, like one of the faves.
That one wasn't it. Don't do that one.
Okay. Okay, good to know because all right. That's kind of like how I felt about, and this is when I saw Cabin in the Woods, I was like, there's no way this is a horror. This is a comedy.
It's so stupid. It was a horror comedy. Apparently that is a subgenre, horror comedy.
And that's literally what I do. So I'm like, great, I'm in my own subgenre. Fantastic. I'll do horror and comedy all day. But I was watching that movie, I'm like, this isn't funny. I mean, this isn't scary. Like, I think one of the I want to get to my favorite movie, but in just a second. The part in Evil Dead from like the early 2000s where they like go into the cabin, all that. it. The part where you literally watch the demon go up the girl, like into her hoo-ha, and she's like entangled in the like branches and stuff. One of the most visceral reactions I've ever had in a horror movie. Like this is acting. Like
now,
just watching that happen, and I'm like, oh God.
now I will say, so I'm not a huge, like, I want them to kind of get away from the whole like inbred kind of situation with horror films. You know, oh, we're in the Appalachians, there are a bunch of inbreds. Oh, look, people who live in caves, they're inbreds, kind of thing, right? Because one, they're in all of them.
They're in every single one of them, girl.
Wrong Turn, the things that were in The Descent,
Yep.
they were in caves. And then The Hills Have Eyes. Now,
Barbarian.
Oh my God.
That was like 4 generations of like inbreeding.
Yes. But my issue with it is that they get too gory with it. It's like so nasty, so disgusting whenever they decide like the remake of The Hills Have Eyes.
I refuse to. I've heard horrible things about it.
Early 2000s, my friend at the time, she's like, you got to go with me. No one else is going to watch it with me. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I do horror films. Okay. And
I thought you meant there was like a more recent one. I've seen the early.
No, the early 2000s was so bad in like the very beginning. Like it was too graphic for me. I actually walked out. I was like, nope, we're good. I'll go watch the 80s. Like, solid.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
I will say, like, so okay, just to answer my own question that I asked you 10 minutes ago. I have a special surprise for, I want to say I'm saving this episode for the 100th episode of Smart Friend, which is coming up. But my favorite movie, my favorite horror movie of all time, and mind you, I've watched my range of horror from 70s to everything. Have you seen the movie High Tension?
That sounds so familiar.
French foreign film.
Is that with the 2 girls?
Yep.
The ones that were like sky, they were going up, climbing? No, not that one. I'm getting confused again.
It has to do with 2 best friends who go on like a holiday from college. And one friend has short hair, one friend has long hair. So we'll just keep them separated like that. Long hair friend was like, hey, we can go to my parents' cottage in like France, which a cottage in France sounds so much better than an Airbnb in the motherfucking woods. Okay, so the cottage, all of this stuff. But then the movie opens up with this guy in his like death truck getting head from a girl, but he beheaded her. So I think, is that necrophilia?
Yes.
And the movie opens up with him like arriving.
Oh no.
And then he tosses the head out the window. Drive on. So I'm not going to spoil anything. The movie is about a chase because the death guy comes and captures a long-haired friend. When I tell you that ending I could not call, no matter how many variables of things.
Right.
I knew something was up. It was like towards the ending. It was like at the end of Act 2. They give you a hint of what could be happening. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way.
Oh.
What, like, I don't know if you've, like, Skeleton Key had that for me where I was like, couldn't call.
No.
If I wanted to. High Tension, there is no way you're calling that ending.
I have now got to look up this movie.
Like, that's why when I look at slashers, like when I watched Scream 5, I was like, okay, Richie is definitely one of the killers.
Right.
Didn't think it was Amber. Didn't think the other one was Amber. I thought the other one was, for some odd reason, I fell into the idea of thinking that Sheriff Judy was a killer.
Okay, yeah. It makes sense, though.
It tracks.
Yeah.
But to find out, I felt like having Amber be a killer was a bit of a cop-out. Because I knew it wasn't Chad. I knew it wasn't Mindy. I knew it wasn't like the other girl. I forget her name. Scream 6 definitely got me. Cause I knew Ethan. I was like, there's 100% this kid's a killer. And 100% the cop is in on it. But then when they showed you in the trailer that there's 2 ghost faces, I was like, ooh. But no, like sometimes you can call the ending, and sometimes there's horror movies and like paranormal movies call it. The fact that you mentioned Skeleton Key, I love that we're on that same playing field. Please give yourself the opportunity with an open mind. Don't guess anything.
Okay.
When you see high tension, just watch. You like gore?
Some gore.
This okay.
Here,
This has a lot.
okay.
This
Like
has
Hostel?
a lot of borderline. It touches Hostel because there's like chainsaw stuff.
Oh.
On the topic of that, going through Hostel 1, 2, and 3 on the Smart Friend series was I was like, because like I want to put this out for people so they know, so I'm not like lying or anything. I go back and rewatch like the 30-minute recaps of each movie, because if I were to sit there and watch 90 minutes or 2 hours, I can't. I physically do not have the time. So I go and I watch the movie reviews and I watch everything just to kind of get an idea. Reliving Hostel.
No.
Or
No.
the other one that's going to be coming down the pipeline is Human Centipede.
Oh.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I have to do that one.
You don't watch. You could read it. You could find people who talk about
Yeah, and I was
it.
like, you know what? I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the plot, because the movie I've watched both of them. The second one was garbage. The second Human Centipede was absolute garbage. It was a cop out. They knew they had a hit with the first one. Studio execs were like, let's make a second. So they bring back the girl from the first one as herself, because I think you remember, because they made the first one like a movie.
Yeah.
Or like they play into the first one being like a movie, so they wanted to make it like really meta. Garbage movie. I mean, I love the fact that they had 12, 13 people in a Human Centipede line. Have you seen any of them?
Yes,
Have
I've
you seen
seen
both
the first one.
Oh my god, the part where she was like, I have to take a shit, or the guy was like, I have to take a shit. And it makes perfect sense that the girl in the middle would live, because she was the filtration system. If anatomically speaking, anyone who filters anything, they're like, anyone who's in that position, you're gonna live. Not that, like, I haven't tried anything myself. I'm really good with anatomy and physiology. I have a degree in science. Has a degree in science, really good with anatomy, physiology, kind of approachable and funny, has paranormal experiences. I'm checking off all of like the lists. Like, I am my own trope. I promise you, I am not by means a lethal person. I'm lethally funny.
That's right.
But just watching Human Centipede was that was a tough one. When he fucking stuck his finger around and like lifted the tendon. That was when I was like, all right, cool.
You're like, I'm done. We're good.
Or even, I think it was Hostel Part 3. I think Hostel Part 3 or Hostel Part 2, where she shoots the guy in the dick.
Yes. It's the I think that's 2.
That's 2.
Yeah.
I just remember like watching that in the theaters, and I was like, I'm gonna be like, hey friend, you're alive, right? Like, you're good.
You're okay.
Like, cupping myself, like making sure it's still there.
Yes, because 2 is the one where she like castrates him and then throws it to the dogs.
Yep. And that line that she said, that was like, I have enough money to buy and sell everyone in this room. I'm like, oh fuck yeah.
Get it.
Then I feel like Hostel Part 3 was a cop out.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing, I feel like they never know when to stop.
No.
Ever.
Also, can we really quickly talk about Jeepers Creepers 4?
Oh my god.
What editing was that?
The $50 editing.
That was like, I'm sorry, was this like Microsoft Paint? Like, and again, I'm not trying to be anything, but like, I'm not trying to be a critic, but also if you take a look at what I do with Smart Friend, there is an element of critiquing the film. There's an element of that, and I'm not going to get away from that, but like, what the fuck was Jeepers Creepers 4?
Oops. It was something that should have died off at like 2.
The first two,
Mhm.
fantastic. The fact that like Jeepers Creepers came back with the sequel and they did what they needed to do with the school bus and the kids, loved it.
Yep.
Loved it. They should have stopped there.
Mhm.
And then obviously some like weird production companies gonna be like, well, we're fans. Like, have you seen Spiral with Chris Rock?
I have not. I don't
Chris
think
Rock
so.
is the executive producer of Spiral.
Hmm.
People who watched it, and I've seen clips of it, it's literally like Chris Rock is a Saw fan and wanted to do something with
No.
it. And it's just when they remake stuff, or like when they remade Jeepers Creepers, and it was like the version of like, oh, I'm gonna post this to Twitter and you're gonna get canceled. Shut the fuck up. Why does every single remake, like, keep in mind, if you go back to like late 90s, early 2000s horror films, no one cared about anything.
No.
And that's what made it so great.
Yes.
Now we're in such an era where it's like people are like, oh yeah, but like the non-binary person didn't get killed off. So like, where's the inclusion? It's like, hold on, what?
Why does
And I don't mean that to be disrespectful to anyone across anything. I'm just making, like, the point I'm making is like, we have to make it so about today's day and age. It's like horror is losing its sense of horror.
Yeah. It's individuality.
It's individual. Like the best genre, in my opinion, is horror.
Yes.
You have all the elements. You have action. You have comedy. And then, of course,
You got
the resistance. You've got horror.
right.
And horror doesn't care. The same way comedy doesn't care, horror shouldn't either.
Right.
And I want to ask you this. What is the biggest difference between a horror movie and a comedy? Do you know?
No. Not really. I don't really see a difference because they
There's
go the
there's
same. Yeah.
one major difference.
Okay.
The background music.
Oh yeah. Because
So
one's a little bit more lighthearted and the other one's gonna
if
be
we were watching Hostel with like cheerful music in the back, we'd be laughing. Because
right.
our Dima is saying this music is upbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh my god, he's eating shit. Like, oh my god, he got his mouth sewn to someone's asshole. Yeah. The fact that we're watching it, it's like this, like,
Mm-hmm.
we're afraid. That's the key.
Okay.
Now, anytime I watch a horror movie, I pay attention to the music. I pay attention to the scenes. There's so many ways to go into a horror movie without being scared now.
Oh yeah. Have you watched? I don't because you watched some of the earlier films. Have you watched? There was one with it's Robert De Niro, Lisa Bonet, and Mickey Rourke before he did all his plastic surgery.
Oh my god.
It's called Angel Heart and it's based in Louisiana.
Angel Heart. No, I don't think I have.
That one's pretty good. It deals with like the hoodoo, voodoo. De Niro hires Rourke.
I've heard of this.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because when Lisa Bonet took the role in this film, that's when Bill Cosby fired her from the show because she ends up topless, dancing, like the hoodoo voodoo dance with like chicken blood and stuff, and he fired her.
Like in real life?
Mm-hmm. In real life, Bill Cosby fired her from the Cosby Show because she took that film on. And it didn't keep with that wholesome bullshit family thing he was trying to push out.
Cut to him literally being
the nastiest motherfucker alive.
A predator.
Right.
A predator.
Yes.
Like Raven Simone being 4 years old on your TV set. Predator.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic movie. It's another one that's kind of filmed the same way Skeleton Key was, and you don't see the twist until the end.
Is it a similar twist?
No, not really. It's no one taking over someone's body. Robert De Niro is actually playing Lucifer, and you don't realize it. And he's got
I think so.
long nails, and he's like doing like, yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So fantastic.
This is why I love like horror from years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because there weren't all these like parameters. There weren't all these things. And going back to what I had said earlier, like I want to specify this because I don't know in what context this will all be edited in, but I love the fact that everyone is getting an even playing field. I love
Yes.
the fact that we are diverse. I love the fact that we are including people. But it doesn't, some things should just exist in their formats. Like when you go into a horror movie, be scared, be this. We don't have to talk about every other, like we don't have to bring in like the politicalness of the world. We don't have to do all that. Sometimes people go see a movie to escape.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I was getting at, is like I like going into places to just kind of chill for a second. I like going into horror movies to chill out.
Yep. I want to see something. I want to not think about what's going on around me. All of this freaking fire everywhere.
Every day there's something, and like that's what if you really want to watch a horror movie, turn on the news.
Right?
Like
right?
Check out the world. Check out like I mean, we're not gonna go down that path, but like what horror movies are. And I think the more that I've gotten, I haven't been really like a part of the community per se, because I just kind of do my own thing. I don't sit there and like analyze videos and talk. And not that there's anything wrong with that, because again, with what I said earlier, there are people who like engulf themselves in horror content. Yep. And I love that because I watch some of them, like Critical Overlord or Killjoy Jake or oh my gosh, the Unmasked guy on like I watch a whole bunch of people and I pay attention to their theories and what they talk about, and I take I take some of their word for like Bible. But I'm very much like, how can I make this funny? How can I make this entertaining? How can I bring a different element to this? I will say this because you and I talked about Ghostface. Christopher Landon.
Okay.
Directing Scream 7.
Yes.
With him being the director of Happy Death Day and Freaky Friday. I am eagerly awaiting these Ghostface chase scenes with Christopher Landon's angles.
Yes. Yes.
Eagerly. I am chomping at the bit, babe. I have to ask you this though, because I feel like this is because I know this is your space, but I love the conversational aspect. Sharp right turn, so go with me here.
Okay.
Have you had any paranormal experiences?
So I have like the same thing as you, where like I'll see something. I read rooms and people extremely well. Like to a T, everyone's like, no, that person's fantastic. And I'm like, no, the fuck they're not. I'm like the only person, and I will explain why. And they're like, no. And then, like 6 months down the line, all of a sudden you were right. It's like, no,
yep. Oh my God. Okay, I have to like, so how do you, like, how does that come like over you, or like, what do you see? What do you feel?
It's a feeling. So it starts usually down in like my stomach, and like, I'll get like a knot, right?
Not the tummy.
Yeah, it always starts there. I'll get like a knot, or I'll get like really, how like sometimes if you forget to eat and you've drank a lot of caffeine and you get like the
jitters,
like jitters. I get those too, and I'm like, but I didn't have any caffeine, or I've eaten really well today. Why is this happening to me? And it's usually that. And then I start looking at people, and I can usually see like a color around them, like the aura color, and I'll be like,
on me. Oh my God, I'm nervous.
Purple.
Is that good? Is that bad?
Yeah. No, it's great. Purple's for passion.
Okay, it's so funny. I don't know if you've seen when I've like moved my head. My favorite color is lavender.
I didn't see that for the whole time until like you asked me, and I was like,
my favorite color is literally lavender. Oh my God. Okay, wait. Okay, so not in your stomach. You get the jitters. How does the color?
The colors usually like if they don't have a color, I get really worried. Or if they have like something that's overly dull and they're trying to be too much in person, it does. Like when stuff doesn't match for me, because I'm like one of those people, like people's voices, faces. Like if I hear your voice first, but I don't see your face, I can normally understand and vision like what you look like, and normally I'm spot on.
What your face would look like, okay.
But if like, I don't think any of my coworkers listen. So there's a particular coworker at work where like everyone's like, no, she's great. And I was like, no, she's not. She's really condescending. No, she's not. She's not a great person. And they're like, no, she does all this great work. She does all this stuff. And I was like, that doesn't matter. I was like, all of that's a mask. Like, there's mask on people, guys. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whenever you're like, especially like group projects and stuff, right? I hate group projects.
I hate group projects.
All day, every day, hate them.
I'll do one with you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I feel like we have similar.
Yes.
I'll do one with you. What goes on in your mind with group projects?
So for group projects, you always have like the one person who takes on like the boss lead. So I'm not a leader. Like, I don't step up for it. It naturally usually happens, which for some people, it's great. You have a charismatic personality that it works. But the people who try too hard.
Oh.
And the ones that can't like make the little snide remarks or try and like play you out to be dumb or make you sound dumber. And you're like, but you just proved the point here.
Okay, so speaking of this, oh God, I love it. I feel like honestly we should just have like chats together, because I like what you're talking about is stuff that I literally am like, I can pinpoint at least 24 examples. Where the one thing, and I tell this to my friends, my family, my husband, the one thing you never want to do is make me look dumb.
Yep.
Because I will show you just how intelligent I actually am. And I've said this to one of my best friends. She's a physical therapist. She and I are closer than the shirt to my back. And we've talked about like big flexes in life, right? Like sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I don't think my big flex is the fact that I'm funny. It's a known thing that I'm funny. But a big flex of mine is the fact that I'm intelligent.
Right.
And I'm not talking like book smart streets. I'm talking like I can see a situation the way you do.
And you can see how it's going, to go.
I can literally Doctor Strange it and figure out that's actually the better path to take. I have this thing similar in the way that you read people. And it's when I tell you it comes true every single fucking time. I can't even, when I meet someone on, like, and when I say meet someone, I mean like meet a new friend or something. If I like you off of the jump, I'm going to hate you in 3 months.
Yep.
If I dislike you or just have an unease about you, I know we're going to be best friends. Because like sometimes like my aura or whatever, like the things that guide me will be like, don't push it too hard with this person just yet.
Feel it out. Basically.
Feel it out first. My like spirit guides are like, hold on. We're good. Just wait. Versus someone that's like, oh my God, besties. And I'm like, no, you're trying too hard. Especially now, I've noticed that people love, like, don't get me wrong, I love the support that I get. I love the support. I think the support is fantastic, and I'll never say anything bad about a compliment or anything like that. But it's funny when you start making it. And I'm by no means am I famous, by no means am I a celebrity, by no means am I anything. It's funny when you start kind of building what types of people are around you and who comes out of the woodwork and who tries to like make themselves known in your life. And that to me is paranormal in a way. I'm like, hold on, you switched up.
Yep.
You changed up so much. And now you're like invested in either talking to me or stalking my shit. Like 2 of my ex-best friends that I have no desire to communicate with, their family members followed me on TikTok. It's like, but why else would you do that though if you weren't interested in it? If you weren't interested in taking a peek. And then even friends that I've had, like business relationships with people first, I love seeing like their orcs. I'm like, okay, this is a person I can mesh with. And then they want to get big themselves, but it happens to me first. So I've got like a pretty cute list of like people, let's just say, people who are in the limelight that I can contact.
Right.
And I love that for me. And I don't tell, in the beginning, I was like name dropping is crazy. And then God was like, don't do that. And I think that's why I got shadow banned. But I started telling these people, I was like, yeah, I'm friends with this person. And when I say friends, I mean like I regularly communicate and talk to these people. And then one of the people that I was friends with, or had a business relationship with, they were like, oh, you should contact this A-list female rapper to see if she'll fund my project.
Oh.
I was like,
excuse me?
what? So that's why, like, when I film my videos, and I don't know how it is for you, I know when I film my Smart Friend videos, I literally am like, I clear the room. And it's not because I don't want anyone to watch me. My husband can access the fucking security footage in our living room camera. I don't care. It's the matter of being there.
Yep.
It's like, that is so private to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's so special to me. And like, that aura, that room reading thing you were talking about, that's like, I think that's such a gift.
Well, it's so funny because everyone's always like, I'll usually get like, oh, well, just give them a chance. And I'm like, no, that's a lot of energy. And I don't have that kind of, I'm not going to expend those resources.
Yeah.
But room reading is extremely important and no one seems to know like how to do it or to be like aware of it. So like, especially at work, because I have to work with like so many different people. I'll go into a meeting room and I'll look at everyone and I'm going, all right, this one's going to be a bad one. Because you can tell no one wants to be there. Someone's already making a remark. And then like, your boss comes in and your boss is like, okay, good. Like, trying to be happy and perky and let's get going. And I'm like, nope. So I just kind of stay quiet. And then my boss will pull me to the side. And I was like, I read the room. The room was not ready for any type of energy higher than what it was at. And she's like, how do you do that? And I was like,
it's a gift.
Yeah.
I think some people might even call it the cunning.
Huh.
Just the ability to like read presences and auras and I
also get really worried, especially when it comes to like reading people, if someone starts spewing too much overly personal information right at the jump. I'm like, no, I see what you're doing there. That's a no.
I've seen that as people love, like, I've seen people do that with me, and sometimes like I will tell you, okay, again, I want to preface this. I play dumb really
yes.
really well. Like, I can mask what I really feel about someone to make sure that they're comfortable with me, because if I were to really look at someone and be like, that's a little too fucking much, I don't need to know about your like what happened, like, I don't need to know that. I'm just trying to eat my fries. I'm just trying to get blue cheese and buffalo sauce to dip these fries in, babe. And when people like, I think what it is, and maybe this is with you and I together, have you ever had this compliment or comment, should I say? Have you ever had people tell you, oh my God, wow, I feel so comfortable around you?
All the time.
Something that I've determined, that is an energy sucker.
Yep.
That is someone who wants to open up, quote unquote, open up about themselves to you, so you do the same thing, like in that reciprocity factor. And all you're giving them is like that space of vulnerability for them to come in and just leech.
Yep. Because normally what happens is when they start and then you start, they then go for like, it's almost like the one-up factor, because I had a couple of friends like this. I'm no longer friends with them. But the whole like, I had a friend, it was a brunch. I was hosting a brunch and the two girls happened to come from like a broken family. So like divorce and stuff.
Okay.
So I come back from the bathroom and they're like, well, Christine, tell us how effed up your family is. And I'm like,
I would immediately leave.
Why?
I would be like, I'm so sorry. That's
the
topic of conversation today. The thing that you want to talk about is how fucked families are versus like the fact that this bacon probably tastes really good.
Right? Or this pancake right here. Like, where's the syrup?
I don't understand. And I think I've now, this is why, like, I've said this to my friends too, and maybe you can relate to this. I have had to go through several lifetimes, my life, through everything I had happen when I was living in Bosnia, to being an immigrant, to all of this stuff. I retract that. I love the version of myself today.
Yes.
I've sat through commentaries about bashing my family and bashing friends and just trying to talk to people and under the guise of just vent to us,
Mm-hmm.
to have them turn around and use shit on me, and
Yep.
to have like my whole life publicized, not in like some fucking way other than like my Facebook is what I'm referring to. Like I used to put a lot
Yeah.
up on Facebook, and even up until even like the very beginning of the pandemic, there was a little bit of a smear campaign against
Mm-hmm.
my close group of friends. And I've learned to just the best thing you can do is literally just be quiet. Or the best thing you can also do, and this is why I love studying psychology, you can ask me a question and I
Mm-hmm.
will answer it, and you will feel like I've answered your question. When in fact I haven't.
That's awesome.
It's like a gift. It's like the way that people have that overtness you were talking about like
Mm-hmm.
trying to showcase themselves and stuff like that. I can legitimately, you can ask me a question and it can be so specific. And I will give you an answer that sounds like I'm answering your question. When in fact, what I've done is I've diverted.
Mm-hmm.
I have completely misdirected it. I made you feel connected to me, and now I'm turning it back on you. Then feel some form of connection, because the way that I learned about keeping my mouth shut
Oh my God. Saves everything.
is just shut up. I tell
Be
my husband, I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I tell you to be quiet for your safety.
right? I kick you under the table and give you a look for a reason. Sir, stop it. Like,
I want to know what that interaction looks like with your ability to read a room. Is it your boyfriend or your husband? I'm so sorry.
my husband.
Oh my gosh, wait, when did you get married?
We got married 2019, very beginning of 2019.
Okay.
We had our son the end of 2018, and we had been together for like
Mom.
I have 3.
Oh, she's the mom of 3.
I have
You
two teenagers,
you have
and
such a young spirit.
yeah.
Like
I
feel like
I like to be happy, and I like to have positivity, and I think that helps, right? Because if you ever
yeah,
notice, those people who like to drown in their negativity and their drama, they age.
can't relate. Can't relate.
That's right.
33, and the only thing I have is a little bit of crow's feet because I sleep on my side.
I sit there, I joke with him all the time because like he's a white boy. He's like straight out, he's a ginger, he's got
White.
like blonde hair. Yes.
Not white, but like white.
Like Irish. Like, sir, you definitely didn't go outside. He's gasping.
Oh my God, your husband's he's a whole transparent king.
Yes. A little, yeah, and we made a smaller one, and
my God, let me wait. So what happens so you can read a room? Can he get the brochure of the room? Can he read the abstract, the synopsis?
I just know. It took him forever. He realized it early on in our relationship because, like, he was one of those, oh, I can be friends with everyone. And I was like,
Don't do that.
No, you can't. No, you can't. You
should never be friendly.
Right. Not only that, but you should have boundaries, which was another problem for him.
That was a tough one for me to learn.
Oh, whole early part of my life. Whole early part, up until my 20s, like straight out. But his friend, he had this best friend that would like dip on him. We started dating. He had broke up with this one god awful person, and we started dating. And his friend was acting really weird. And I thought it was funny because we all went to high school together. So his friend had hit on me in high school. Well, they both did, but he hit on me in high school, and like the guy would duck. Like, just we'd run into him because Jacksonville, while it is massively huge,
it's land
mess. Yeah, everyone knows everyone, and we ran into him in this area called 5 Points, and like Ray's trying to talk to him, and the guy's like ducking. He's like, "Yeah, I gotta go." And I looked at him, and I was like, "Are you sure he's not screwing your ex?" And he goes, "What?"
Wait, did you see this in front of the both of them?
No, not in front of the both of them. I waited until
but just in front of your husband.
I looked at him and I was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "No, that's my bro. That's my homie. That's." And I was like, "Nah, man. Nah." Like he is so hiding something from you, and I'm telling you right now, it's bad.
My God.
I was right. 3 months, was it 3? 6 months later. 6 months later. We're at my husband's apartment, and
Bro, I have goosebumps.
his friend calls and is like crying his eyes out, right? Crying his eyes out. And he's like, "I just gotta talk, man. I just need to talk." And Ray's like, "All right, well, me and Chrissy have already started drinking. So just to let you know, filters are out. Like if something comes out of her mouth or my mouth, you can't get mad."
Game's on.
Right? He comes over, he starts crying about the girl. And I looked at Ray and I was like, "I told you." I walked off and Derek's like, "What is she talking about?" And I'm like, "Nothing." Nothing at all. So then my husband, who's like the biggest, sweetest person you could ever meet, like he's so like Southern kind, it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Kind of. But he's always really nice, and he's a Capricorn and he has a filter. They always overly think what they're about to say. Man, that man tore into him and was laughing at him at the same time while tearing into him about how dumb he was. His friend, like he's telling his friend how dumb he was. "I can't believe he'd do that shit. You knew what she did to me." And I was just sitting there and I was like, shot after shot. I was like,
that. So. Uh-huh. Yeah, no, what you said tap danced on the naivety that I've lived with. So yeah.
And he's like, and then he waits until he leaves and he's like, "How'd you do that?" And I was like, "The signs were there. Like you can't see the signs. I could see the signs." He was avoiding you at all costs. Anytime, you wanted to talk or hang out, he's like, "Oh, I'm busy. I'm busy." I was like, "What's he busy with? What is he busy with?"
Who is he busy with?
Right. And then, like, I was like, you'd try and talk to him about something and he'd want to bring her up. I was like, those are signs. I was like, on top of that, he
wants to talk about something. He wanted a gateway that he was literally essentially pushing open.
Mm-hmm.
So then it would look like, well, oh, but you brought her up, so I guess I can tell you I'm fucking her.
Right. Right.
But that's I am not a mathematician.
But 2 + 2 = 4. And
it's every single time 2 + 2 will always equal 4.
Mm-hmm.
If I have 2 Oreos and I get 2 more, I have 4. It's not going to be 3.99.
Nope.
It might be 3.5 in a couple seconds after I devour one. But during the time of the equation, 2 + 2 is always 4.
That's right. Oh my God. That's how I am. That's how I was with different jobs. My husband's like, you're not staying at your job. And I'm like, no. It's about to go south. I can see it.
I should have seen there was one job that I came into before the one I have now, and should have seen it. You would have done the same. Like it. I think now. I mean, I'm about to take like a leap of faith now. I don't know if I told you.
I about the teaching, right?
Oh no. So I do. No. I do. Like I work in higher education right now,
mm-hmm.
But by the time this episode comes out, I will have put my resignation letter in.
Oh.
And I'm going into full-time content creation.
Nice. That's exciting.
Just to be able to like say that I've done it.
Right.
And I think you will also relate to this to some extent too, in your own like accord. There's so much that I have with whether it's like being personable or being intelligent or being business savvy, funny or approachable. And it's like, why am I using that to make other people money?
Yep.
Why am I using that? Like, why am I in a space, and not necessarily this specific job that I'm in, but like, why am I in a space where I have to tell people that I'm going to the bathroom, or I have to like,
only eat 30 minutes for lunch.
Only have, like the job that I have right now, the space that I'm in, like who I work for and with, fantastic people, like literally gems. But I know I cannot be in a space where I just feel like there's more out there. I'm on the precipice of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go explore this.
Yep.
I've talked about it with my husband, and my husband, big Libra, big Libra. I think his rising is a Libra, his sun is a Libra, and then his moon is a Pisces or a Capricorn. I can't remember. He's big on he's a realist.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this conversation with him, and I said, hey, I'm going to be going full-time content creation, full-time, all of this stuff. And he's like, well, how are you going to make money? Like, you have, we still have bills. And I was like, yeah, don't worry, there'll be Uber, DoorDash, I have no problem doing that stuff, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you mean to tell me I get to drop off people's food, get paid, and listen to my podcast in the car? Sign me up.
Right?
But like, I just know that there's so much more out there.
Mm-hmm.
That there's so many things I can tap into. I know there's so many things that I can do, so many things I want to do. This will also be an exclusive I'm only giving to you. I have been secretly designing merch.
Oh my God, I love merch.
I secretly plotting and taking, like, I've been going back through the Smart Friend episodes, taking notes of what I say. Like, or
Virgoically speaking.
Virgoically speaking. And I want every sign to have their own moment.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they will come for me in a back alley. But I know that there's so much more. I know that there's so much more out there for me. I know that there's so much more that I can do. There's a lot of stuff that I've done this year that I'm really thankful for. And I genuinely want you to know, like, you specifically, Chrissy, this is the first time I've done this.
That is exciting. Yeah, it looks so natural for you, right?
What do you mean?
Like, it looks so natural. Like, everything you do between TikTok to us speaking right now to like how you do your lives, it looks so natural. Like I would have never guessed your degree was in like psychology. I'd have guessed more it was in more like a what is it, like a like PR or social
Communications, yeah. Something. No, she's a brainiac. I love science. I love math. I love, like, all of the things that people probably wouldn't assume that I love. Like, a lot of my For You page on TikTok is literally people doing equations. Just because I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I love, like, you can't refute math.
Right.
There's so many things nowadays in the day and age that we're in. There's so many fights people put up with, and you can refute so many things. You can't refute that, you can't refute calculus. You can't, like, all of those things. And I love, like, living in that. And I think, like, I hope that the same way I go on my lives on Facebook and TikTok and all of that, I hope there's no difference in, like, you and I, the way we're having a conversation now.
No, it absolutely
just
looks the exact same. Yeah.
With, like, my busted ass wall in the back, like, but I like, without getting too emotional, because I was so, like, when you reached out and you wanted to do this, like, I hope you know, like, the amount of honor I felt.
Oh my God. You have no idea how much I felt, because I was like, literally, when you were like, yeah, I'd love to come on. And I looked at my husband, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm going to fangirl.
No, please don't. I am no one. I am legit no one. I still pay taxes and wash my ass. That's crazy. Like,
I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, because I love the different I love the community as a whole. Like, the podcasting community is great. And then you have the horror, you got true crime, you got all these others, right? Yeah. And like, you come in with, I love TikTok. You're like one of, like, my main on For You page. And then my kids ended up with, like, slime. So we have slime videos.
Oh God, no, not that era. Oh, God, no,
and like, I sit there and I'm like, this is amazing. Cause like, I love the take that you do on it. Cause I love creative people. Absolutely adore them. Because like, while I wasn't the best drama kid, I loved being me off. right?
Oh my God.
I got the little bit parts and stuff, but it's okay.
Girl who takes deep breath number 3. Like
I was Auntie M in the Wizard of Oz musical.
and
okay,
you did it well, let me tell you.
I remember getting into my drama class and I'm like, why are we doing I hate Western? And I'm supposed to be this little school kid. And I was like, I'm in ninth fucking grade.
Not you walking in with like, I'm so sorry, but like if this ain't Rodgers and Hammerstein's, I don't want it. Like,
we kept trying. We would be like, let's do Grease. And she's like, no. And then we're like, Ed fucking White did Grease. And they have a smaller auditorium than we do. Like, we could have done it. Help me out here.
How did you get into podcasting?
So oddly enough, one of my greatest fears is actually public speaking.
I would have never guessed that. Holy shit.
It is my fear. Like I have gotten used to it now that I've led different groups at work. Like I do like ERG work, employee resource groups and stuff. So I usually have to run meetings. So like I've naturally gotten used to it, but I loved listening to podcasts. I love them. Whether they're funny, they're about horror films, they're just, stupid shooting shit. Like 30 Dirty and Dying is millennial based, and I love them so much.
I want to check these out.
Yes. Like when you look at their Instagram, they're sharing like the if your birth date was so and so, like NSYNC's coming out. They're hoping NSYNC comes on tour.
Listen, if you're buying tickets for NSYNC and your birth year does not start with a 1,
sit down.
Actually, get on your hoverboard.
Mm-hmm.
Zip out of here. For us millennials, we're gonna get on our Heelys and go straight to the front of the line.
Right. You know what's so bad is that, well, it's kind of funny at the same time. The newer generations think that they're ahead of the game. And I saw
babe.
My daughter came back with her best friend, which is my best friend's daughter. And my mom took them shopping. They came back, they went to Hot Topic of all places, and the 90s was literally steaming everywhere. And they're wearing like the little plaid skirts with like the mesh and stuff. And I was like, hold on. I was like, hold on, guys. I need to take a picture. And my friend's daughter's like, why? And I was like, I just got to entertain me, please. So I take the picture. I send it to my best friend. And I'm like, our daughters are literally reliving our childhood.
Okay. So the thing is like, our 90s outfits were a complete fit, because now what I'm seeing is like everyone does the 90s outfit, but their face and hair look yassified.
Right.
And we didn't fucking have that, okay?
No, we had Gwen Stefani, super thin eyebrows.
Literally shaved, and then like you had to light the tip of the fucking marker and draw it on for more coverage. We also, I'm seeing a lot of the
chokers.
The chokers, like those like plastic extendable ones. I saw these 2 girls inside a Safeway, and they had these like really like long kind of like what are those pants that just kind of flow outward?
The bell bottoms?
Not like.
Or are you talking about like the Jinkos?
Yeah, like the really like almost like parachute pants.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And they were kind of like, they were like rocking the 90s fit, and they were like 17, 18. And I was like, do you know that was like,
that was mine.
That was mine. Also, you probably paid 8 times more for your outfit than the one I can just pull out of the closet. Do you remember when the Champion brand was like $6, $7, $8, and now it's like $50 for a sweater?
Yes.
And everyone's like, man, Y2K is coming back, and it's like it never left.
It didn't.
Like,
no, we just got made fun of for it.
All of these Gen Zers, they should be so thankful that we gave them an internet to adapt to.
Right? Because
the
dial-up?
Fact that you and I are older than the internet.
Yes. And the dial-up, oh my God.
Oh, the amount of arguments. My mom would be like, get off the internet. I have to call the cable company so I can pay the internet. Or my favorite is, my personal favorite. This is my favorite. Like, I love doing like voices and like trying to emulate people. Mm-hmm. My favorite is Mr. Movie Phone.
I forgot about him.
where you
Yes.
had to call in
Mm-hmm. To
and
find
then
out all of the movie
all of
time.
them. And if you typed in one wrong number for your zip code, or you pressed the wrong number for the theater that you thought you were at,
Mm-hmm.
or he would always do like the coming this summer. One man, two kittens, and not enough treats.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Oh my God.
that. And I'm like, we used to live in such simpler times. Like before I fed my cat or any of my friends' kids, I fed my Tamagotchi.
Yes.
That was
That
immense.
took big piles of poop everywhere on screen.
That took shits. Like that, I was like,
It's like,
damn.
that's a man turd.
That teach me how to re-regulate. And I was watching my freaking Tamagotchi. I'm like, what in the Jamie Lee Curtis Dan and Activia are you eating?
Right?
Like, also, Jamie Lee Curtis sold us probiotic yogurt for 25 years.
Oh yeah.
And
And
we bought it.
the itty bitty, what is it? Itty bitty yellow polka dot bikini.
The itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
That was part of it.
So many. I also bring back, I have this thing with like just nostalgia toys. My favorite thing that I ever owned, I don't own it now because it broke. Sock 'em boppers.
Yes. Yes.
Dude. And if you got hit correctly, that hurt. If you got hit correctly.
I had, what was it called? The Skip It.
How's your ankle?
Terrible. Fucking terrible. Like bruised to all hell. I sit there and I went to CrossFit. I jumped and I landed wrong and I was like, done. Just done. Thank you. Thank you, Skip It.
Have you had a Razor scooter?
Yes, those fucking things hurt like hell.
I would rather take Skip It hitting my ankle than a Razor scooter that literally, like, no wonder I can't drive proper. I've noticed now when I drive, my right leg sort of like
Goes.
Convexes inward, and I'm like, no,
stop it.
because then what will happen sometimes is like I have my like feet, I have size 12.5 feet, so I'm a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'll start teetering over to the brake the same time I'm hitting the gas, and I'm like, Razor scooter. Razor scooter dislocating my absolute ankle,
making it look like you took a butcher knife to your shins.
I swear to God, people are like, are you cutting? And it's like, no.
On my Razor.
On my Razor by accident. Also, they had those rubber wheels, and like when those things gave out, you were done. That was how you stopped scootering. When the streetlights came on, that's when we went into the house.
Right?
Like we knew who was where because of how many bikes were parked outside someone's home or how many shoes, and like we don't have that. And that's where, like, going back to what I had said earlier about horror, it's like I don't mind. I love the fact that there's like so many societal changes and all of these things. I love that. Certain things should not be touched, though. Right. Certain things should be appreciated for what they've held since the moment they've held it.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy and horror are two genres. I mean, action, you can just get bigger and bigger with like the budget and like the explosions and the, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't touch horror. Don't touch comedy.
No. And I will say this, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Koreans, their freaking horror films are terrifying.
Have you seen Ju-on?
Which one's that?
The Japanese version of The Grudge.
Yes. Could not sleep.
More terrifying. The scene in the hospital bed. Holy actual shit. Like, that was, I'm talking about it now. You can't see this, but I have like
goosebumps.
The goosies are bumping.
Yes.
Oh my God. When I see American adaptations of foreign horror, I get it. There's a whole like business thing that they can't, they have to do X, Y. Sure.
Yeah.
When I go back and watch, have you seen the original Ring?
Yes.
Christ in Heaven Almighty.
Oh my God. Like that little girl in the American one was creepy.
Oh, Samara Morgan?
Yes. Absolutely creepy. Blew my mind she voiced Lilo.
Blew my mind.
I was like, not the same person.
blew my literal mind. And then you watch like something about like I was actually going to talk to you about this.
Mhm.
So glad you brought this up. When I watch a horror film, let's say it's set in Japan,
Right.
I prefer watching the Japanese version where I have to read the subtitles XYZ
Hmm.
versus Americans coming in and doing the film in Japan.
Yes.
The authenticity, and this is no disrespect to people who accept jobs in other countries or anything. I'm just saying, like, as a critic, as a movie viewer, goer, whatever you want to call it, there's something absolutely mortifying about having people of the place where the movie is set speaking the language, understanding the story.
Hmm.
I don't think I got through Ju-on in one sitting. I think I had to break it up into 3 or 4. I was
I think
so
mine was 2.
I think like I stopped because it was so scary.
But the angles, right? The angles and the tactics that they use for like the jump scares, like they are like the
Their jump scares aren't
pros.
even jumpy. It's like, no, they're
Right.
scary.
Yeah. They are just like the pros. Like oh my God. Oh my, their found footage. Have you watched any of their found footage ones?
I'm a bit of a pussy when it comes to that. Like,
So if and when you get Shudder, it gives you everything, all sorts. I mean, like Lugosi's Dracula, like it goes back like
oh,
to
it
the
goes bippity boppity
20s.
back.
1920s. You can find Old Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, like all of it. When I tell you, they will also break it up into subgenres for you.
Oh, kind of like found footage, slasher.
Yep, and you can go and start scrolling through and find like tons of
I
stuff.
should probably do that.
Yeah.
I should probably get Shudder.
Shudder, yeah, especially for your smart friend, dumb friend. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Like their found footage, there was one I watched and I don't remember. Everyone's been talking about it and I'm not going to try and butcher the name of it, but they go into an old rundown mental asylum.
Immediately, let's not.
Trying to. And they do good blending like the new age kind of thinking because they were like it's a YouTube group going to debunk whether or not the place is haunted.
Okay, how old is this movie really quick?
2020s at least.
Okay, so maybe because there was another movie that came out here about the similar situation where YouTubers go and explore an abandoned building.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that had like Brock O'Hearn in it and all these like G-list people.
Not even the D list. They got down to the G's.
They were like, "Who's free?"
What you got on your table?
People said yes.
But it was so creepy because like it gave found footage, and it was funny because their whole intent of doing it first, the group, there was a few guys within the group that were trying to make like fake scare tactics.
Stop.
And then all of a sudden it starts ramping up.
Hey, have you guys ever played that game called Cry Wolf? Oh my God,
God.
so cute. The gag is if we go into something like that and someone tries to scare me, I'm either punching you or I'm killing you. It's one or the other.
Exactly. And then I'm leaving.
And then guess what? I'm out of here. But then, for the plot of the movie, it's gonna be like plot twist. Where's the exit? How do we get out?
Oh.
It's okay. So I will have to get Shudder. There was one that someone tagged me in, which by the way, shout out to everyone who tags me in movies to watch. And also I love the little like hint game I play on Facebook. Not just because I want you guys to like play along, but then I get ideas. I'm multi-sourcing my audience. There was one, it's on Tubi, something about a guy building a cardboard fort. It's like pretty recent.
Huh.
I got tagged in it and then I was like, oh, this looks interesting. So I watched the trailer. It's a guy literally builds a fort out of cardboard in his house, but when people go into it, all of a sudden they get smaller as the fort gets like bigger, and you get like lost in it.
Like a fucked up Alice in Wonderland?
That are on the same line.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the ones we're gonna watch. I think tonight we're also gonna watch No One Will Save You.
Oh, I'm dying to watch that one on Hulu. Oh my God.
Dying to watch that. And I think obviously that's gonna be, you know, when the time comes for Smart.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so I did not know that this podcast episode was gonna be sponsored by me getting Shudder. So just kidding, it's not, but like
excuse me, Shutter, we need some
excuse me.
We need to talk.
Oh my gosh. I need to figure out how to like this is literally why all of this is going to be a full-time career at some point in like the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. That's so exciting.
So excited because I want to do this. It's fun. And there's the horror group, like, and I call myself a horror head. Just because, I guess, I don't know. But like some of the best people that I've met. Some of the best people I've met talk about slashers and talk about all of this stuff. If you ever get a chance to come to Arizona, I will personally take you to a place called Terror Trader.
Oh.
And it's Halloween all the time.
Oh my God.
It's a store with independent merchants. So you're buying, like, you might be thinking you're buying from Terror Trader. You are technically, but you're buying from like a small business.
Oh, that's awesome.
They run a podcast as well. It's like, girl beats the fuck out. Like, search Terror Trader in Apple Podcasts, and it'll be the one that with like a skull and a mullet.
Okay.
Recently discovered them. Didn't realize how close I lived to them.
Yeah.
Across the street is a bakery called Spooky Swirls, and they do Halloween themed bakery items that are gluten-free with a museum.
Oh my God.
So when you and the family decide to take a trip either to California and you come through Arizona, personally tell me and I will make sure we go to these places.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Like, just to be able to like what I mean by that is like that community is so endearing and so loving. And I feel like, you know, when you talk about pop stars, like people are like, oh yeah, Addison Rae is a better pop star than do it. People get into fights.
Oh, absolutely.
But you and I can be like, oh, I prefer Ghostface. Who do you love? Oh, why do you love them? Da-da-da. Oh yeah, it becomes such a conversational element. It's not like, who do you think would win in a fight, Ghostface or Freddy Krueger? Well, fucking Freddy, obviously, dumb bitch. Like, who do you think would win in a fight, Ghostface or like, I don't know. Oh my God, the Happy Death Day killer. That was
that was wild.
That caused. And then like, didn't Happy Death Day come out in September? And then Spirit Halloween was like, hey, LOL, we have the mask.
Yes.
Like, great. Like, I love the horror community so much. I've been a part of it from afar, slowly trying to get like not into it to be like one of the people that's just like, oh, there's another member of this, but it's like, I want to be the one to usher in horror and comedy together.
Yes. By the way, when you get Shudder, it's called Deadstream. It's a horror comedy. Okay. Made by Shudder, where think of like Jeffree Star when he lost like his following for a while and how he had to come back and bring it all back up. You know, all the YouTubers that go through that, they do something controversial.
Oh, their apology video? Yeah.
So this guy does an apology video. Well, he's like, well, I'm going to prove to you, you know, I've changed my ways. So what does he do? He picks a haunted house to go stream in to figure out if it's haunted or not.
That's why it's called Deadstream. Got it. Okay.
Fantastic. I was watching it and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But it got funny, and then it had moments of like seriousness, and then it'd get funny again, and then it's so
That's
cheesy.
The best horror movie though. The best horror movie, it actually blankets everything with comedy.
Yes. And because he does.
You never fucking see the horror coming.
And the wild thing about this was an independent director, and the director is in the movie. He's the main character.
Budget.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask you this. Maybe, okay. This one might be like a controversial question.
Okay.
So since 2020, what's your favorite horror movie that's come out? And streaming count, major motion pictures count, TV movies, everything counts. I have mine, but it's only because of I love gore. And I'll lead you down that route.
So 2020 brought, for me, the best streaming limited series, The Haunting of Hill House.
I started watching it, and babe.
No, you don't like it?
Broad daylight only.
Yeah. I was pregnant.
Oh.
I was pregnant. I was on maternity leave. I binged it. I looked at my husband one morning. I was like, this was a mistake.
And now there's like 3 of them, right?
They're different ones, though. They sometimes use the same actors because that particular director likes certain actors.
Oh, he's like a Ryan Murphy. Okay.
But it's Mike Flanagan is the director. His wife is actually usually in the series. I think for Haunting of Hill House, is she the lesbian?
I can't. I have to probably go back and restart watching them because I got through halfway through episode 1.
Oh, it gets wild.
Doesn't it? Don't they have like a ghost in every frame?
Oh, it's got so many Easter eggs in it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Now, you have that one. You have now, and none of them are interconnected, which I actually like. I don't mind when Ryan Murphy does that with his, but like Apocalypse was trash. Straight trash. How do you kill the Antichrist by running him over?
Roanoke? Have we
Oh my god. They should have stopped whenever they were doing like the reenactment. They should have never went with putting the reenactors and the actual people in together. And then once again, that's another one where you have hillbilly fucking inbreds as killers.
They should have stopped at Hotel.
Lady Gaga was amazing.
Hotel was great.
Yeah. I am not gonna lie. I want to see.
I'm watching Delicate right now.
Are you? How's
She's good.
Is she?
She does a good job. She does a good job.
I feel like she was made for that role because she's probably embodying her mother.
There are elements. There are so many elements of Kris Jenner in Siobhan. In Kim Kardashian's Siobhan, there are so many elements of Kris Jenner. It's hard to ignore, though. Actually, I think that what is today? Saturday. There's a new episode out right now. I'm gonna probably watch it after this.
Oh, okay.
But I will say that on the topic of Scream Queens and just like maybe not on the topic, but
yeah,
we need to give Emma Roberts her flowers.
Yes, she's good. Now, granted, she's had a very turbulent personal life, but for me, American Horror Story, she was great. I loved her in the Coven one. The Coven.
Have you seen The Hunt?
No. Is it good?
The movie, fantastic.
Oh,
I forget her name. Oh my god, I forget her name. Have you seen Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
Okay, hold on. I have to like, who was the star of The Hunt? Betty Gilpin.
Oh, okay.
Betty Gilpin was just iconic. She was in The Hunt. She did Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. She's done but Emma Roberts was in that movie, and she gets killed in the first 10 minutes. But damn, I was like, they got Emma Roberts. And obviously with everything she's done with American Horror Story, everything she's done, like Scream 4, I mean, her being a ghost face.
Yes. It was great. It was so fantastic.
Oh, just at the end, that little twist.
Yes.
That was the one where I was like, wasn't expecting her.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it? Because usually it's like, like in the first one, you would almost assume Cindy's dad, but that didn't happen. And like, it's always someone related to Cindy or like to Cindy by proxy.
Mm-hmm.
But Emma Roberts, man. Wait, what's been going on in her personal life?
So she dated like Evan, what is his name? Evan Peters. And then they had like the whole domestic fight.
Oh yeah.
And then, I mean, she has a baby now. Baby's absolutely adorable. He's like 2. She has a kid. No, they don't together. I don't know who she had the kid with, but she has a 2-year-old.
Oh, cute. Okay. she's amazing. Like she's
Mhm.
done work. I appreciate her so much. I think that Delicate is gonna be one of those like just it's very in the times. It's very yeah, of course there's like I don't know. It's very current and it's like current in a perfect way in my opinion.
That's good. Because that's what I didn't like about Cult.
Oh.
I couldn't. No, thank you.
I try but like I think Ryan Murphy does a great job. He needs to come back and do Ratchet season 2.
Yes.
He needs to come back and do Ratchet season 2. That I'm like, and needs to come back and do Hollywood season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of this stuff. I'm like, Ryan, you're so good. I want him to. And rumor on the street.
Oh.
Rumor on the street. They're in talks for Scream Queens 2.
Really?
If that
Oh
happens, no one talk to me. And Hulu, do us a job and just dump.
Put it all out. Just put them all out.
Because what they're doing with Only Murders in the Building, I'm like, I don't want to have to wait
until
they're
all
nights
doing that. Yeah. They're all doing that. Hulu's doing it. Paramount's doing it.
Netflix
Discovery. Netflix used to not.
Yeah, they used to like give you the entire thing, but now I think what they did is like they'll upload like 2 or 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, that's cool, Netflix. That's still put me on your shows. Yeah. Thank you for just all of this. Thank you for first and foremost, thank you for being so supportive of me from like the start. And I had genuinely no idea until you like said something. And then now it kind of like ties itself in. And I hope that I've grown well. Cause I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I ask you that, like, I hope I've grown well over social media. I hope I've like stayed the same and at least elevated myself as a person, but still stayed the same. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think what you're doing is fantastic, giving so many people the opportunity to just like share their stories and share their loves and dislikes and whatever. Carry on it all. And getting to know you on a personal level has been absolutely rewarding.
I have loved this has been I've done a few guest podcasts, obviously. This has been my top right here.
Really?
Yes, this has been my top. You are my top, and then right below you is Chad from Dr. Ghost Hunters.
Oh my God, not me being a mom.
Yes, because the conversations are so fluid and they're so natural, and I appreciate them. And you guys just like you give so much, and you're so like open to different things, your personal stories, sharing your professional side, your hopes, your dreams, how you love the horror community, the movies. Like I love all of this. I love conversation.
Thank
So
you.
I appreciate it.
I will never forget this. I will hands down throughout the rest of my life know that like regardless of where I go as a content creator from here on out, I was on your podcast first.
Yes, I love it.
I'll never forget that ever. Let
I
your
will,
friends know. Like if you liked me and I'm funny, let your podcast friends know. Like
I will. I have. That's what I do. I share your videos and the stories and stuff. I get so excited.
I love you literally do such a good job. I'm like, my friends are like great video. And then you've got like Paranormal Misfit podcast who's like, LOL, watch him, look at his stuff like every 10 seconds. I'm like, thank you. My friends are great though. I want to say my friends are great at being supportive and they're amazing friends. And that was just a joke. I feel like that's the thing too. You live in a specific time where you have to like back everything up.
And like be like, guys, it was a joke. It was
just LOL. It's
trigger warning.
Times where you just used to be able to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Those were fun times.
Those were fun times.
Those were great, and now we can't.
Nope.
Now we have to like give a disclaimer, an APA formatted thing, a bibliography before we like say something.
That's right.
Just to have like the freedom to talk to you. And thank you. I want to say thank you for making this feel so welcoming. I had a lot of anxiety just in like I'm naturally a nervous person, which probably explains why I avoid dangerous situations. But thank you a million times. Thank you.
I want to thank you too, because had you not been like, I mean, let me know when I can come on, because I was like, hell yeah, anytime, every time, however you want to do it. Like, let's go.
Yeah, I was so and also the episode I think is coming out
This one's coming out on the 20th of
20th of
October.
October. My husband's
Mhm.
birthday is the 19th.
Oh, happy early
So
birthday.
I'm like, happy birthday, babe. I'm on a podcast episode.
Look at me go.
Look at me. I think we're actually gonna be in Roswell doing some like
Oh,
paranormal sightseeing and stuff like that for his
that
birthday.
sounds
So
fun. I will say, if you ever come to Florida, obviously where I live is 45 minutes from the oldest city, which is St. Augustine.
oh my gosh.
Let me know. I will tell you where to stay, where to eat, and we will go on all sorts of ghost
Yeah.
tours because, like,
Are
yeah.
you close to Orlando?
I'm 2.5 hours out.
Oh, that's not bad.
Mm-mm.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I was just in Orlando in May for my best friend's wedding.
Oh,
But we'll definitely like link up. I want to like meet you in person and do like dumb and smart shit. Like
yes.
we'll just do it all. I was telling my husband, I was like, hey, you know what we should do? And I want to record it. We should go to Jerome, Arizona and stay at the most haunted hotel and just like document our experience.
I tell my husband that too.
And
he's like,
are
why?
You not? He's like, this is contradictory to your
Smart friends.
Smart friends. Also wait, hold on. I want to see this if I want to see. Hold on. Is it not out yet?
Which one?
Dumb Friend.
Oh.
Dumb Friend. No, I think it's set. Oh, I think it's set for 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I think it should be out within the half hour.
Oh, that's exciting. Yay.
Okay. I just want to double check because I was like, oh my gosh. But sincerely, I know I've probably overstayed my welcome here. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. I love it.
Getting a chance to like chat and get to know you and hearing about like, I didn't know you had 3 kids and a whole husband and
yeah,
everything that you've come from. I feel like I relate a lot to what you've shared.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of like similarities. And
yes.
this is the coolest thing. Thank you. Like, I don't know how else to say thank you other than just thank you for being so supportive, for being welcoming, for even wanting me to be on your podcast. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what I did in a past life to deserve this type of like, I don't know, like platform exposure, whatever you want to call it, or these opportunities. But I will never, Chrissy, mark my words when I say I will never forget this.
Oh, I appreciate it. I want to say you're welcome, but I'm like in the same boat. I just want to continuously say thank you for coming and wanting to share and talk and just have a great time because I mean, this is fantastic. And you're so funny and you're so like your content that you put out is not like, even though, you know, like on TikTok, it's 60 seconds or on Instagram, it's like minute and a half or so, you know, but you put like, you can tell you put a lot of thought into it. And I love it because I'm like, thank goodness someone else thinks, because we all think the same way in the horror community. Why would you be so fucking stupid?
Why are you dumb?
Why is this happening? Where is being aware of your people are oblivious, but you can't be that fucking oblivious. I mean, come on.
No, there has to be like some form of like subtext of awareness when you're in these moments. And, you know, that like voice in the back of your head in reality would probably say like, fucking don't. But like, yes. You know, but then there's like the intrusive thought side where it's like, maybe I should explore it. But yeah. I will always say this, if it ever came down, I think there's nothing wrong with being curious about something that's in a horror situation. I personally would just be like, you know what, we're gonna let God handle it. we're gonna let Christ handle this one, and I'm gonna handle my like flimsy ass feet sprinting in the other direction the same way I did in the Hereditary episode.
That's right.
Like, my same little
I'm gonna go get some lemons to make some lemonade.
That would so be me though. Like that was, I mean, the reason why I'm so funny is just because the response to so much life trauma, like having to learn how to get out of situations. And I realized biggest personality trait is also my biggest defense mechanism. Humor, love that. Love that. You know what? I'm actually gonna go get you guys fresh lemons from the market, 17 zip codes over.
That's right. You won't see me.
I'll be back. You guys start without me.
So we've thanked each other about 1 million times now.
And I'll do it 1 million more.
You can, so as we close out,
yes,
please tell everyone where they can get in touch with you, find you, watch your videos, all sorts of things.
Please don't come to my house. So let's found out that there's someone who's a fan of mine who lives in my neighborhood. So that's a touch scary, but that's cool. They're nice. They're nice people. They're nice people. So you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at official Nino Daniel. My Facebook is just Nino Daniel. I have the same profile picture across all social sites. You can also hit me up on Patreon. It's $8.79 a month. It's really good content. And if you like the 60-second version of Smart Friend episodes, you will love the 3, 4, 5-minute versions. And also in all of my social media sites, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, there is a space where you can actually send me mail and respond. So I have a PO box open and all of that good stuff. More Smart Friend is coming. Dumb Friend launches officially Patreon today, and then tomorrow for the IG Reels. Merch is coming down the pipeline, and then maybe a possible small little meet and greet tour.
Oh, that'll be exciting. Yay! Everyone check him out. I can't say enough good, positive things about you. Like, if you love horror, if you love comedy, if you love thinking about the horror films and why they're so fucking stupid, check out the Smart Friend in a horror movie. Yeah. Can't wait to see the Dumb Friend.
I know, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. My husband watched it and he's like, "You are dumb." Like, and I was like, "Well, yeah, that's the point." Like,
duh.
Just wait. I also want to say when Dumb Friend comes out, as it progresses, it will be filmed differently than Smart Friend.
Oh, okay. Nice.
You'll see some changes.
Awesome. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
I'm so excited for you. Absolutely excited. Can't wait to see how you blossom and grow and get bigger and just everything. Everything you're doing.
Probably. Carbs is probably how I'm going to get bigger.
No. Carbs are friends.
Carbs are friends, babe. Carbs are energy. Okay. Healthy amount. Healthy amounts of everything is a healthy amount unless it's ketamine or cocaine.
That's right.
But
exactly.
Thank you for this. Thank you so much. And everyone who is watching this, tune in to Paranormal Misfit podcast on a regular basis. Like, if these are the conversations you're going to share with me, I can only imagine what episodes before and after me are going to look like. So you're a rock star, babe. A whole ass mom, a whole ass wife, podcast host. Like, we love.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. You have a good fucking weekend.
You have a better one. Don't tell me what to do.
Well, anyways, if you want to come back on, just let me know and we can do more.
Yeah, we can do.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So. Okay. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
I love it.